FM KMOX.
The weather is sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. It is partly cloudy and 82 degrees downtown. Home refresh rebate. Call now and get $500 back on a qualifying garage door. With a qualifying purchase must be made by September 30th. Visit overheaddoor.com to learn more and schedule a free estimate. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Chris Ranji, Amy Mark Scores. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Good morning, friends. It is a Thursday. It's Thursday. It's August 13th, and it's warm. Amy Mark Scores, Chris Ranji with you till 12 o'clock today. Then it's the Gas House Gang. We'll talk some Cardinals baseball. And Bernie Miklasz will be on the show with me. 314-436-7900. Join us by calling and texting. Voice messages on the Odyssey app. You can drop them there. You can watch the show, too. We are on Facebook. We are on YouTube. We are on Twitter. So find us on Facebook and YouTube on the KMOX News pages. And on Twitter, we are at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top three stories everyone will be talking about.
Well, I tried telling you. I said it yesterday.
Yeah.
I said they were going to extend this excessive heat warning, and they did it. It is now going to be here until Saturday night.
You
Disgusting.
jinxed it.
No,
You jinxed it.
I didn't know. A jinx is, oh, man, we're going to have nice weather tomorrow. And then the heat warning is extended. I told you.
He did.
They always do this crap to us.
I'm sorry.
Somebody's responsible, and they will pay.
President Trump has signed an executive order with RFK Jr. to reduce the number of universally recommended vaccines. What exactly does that mean? Well, at 11 o'clock, we will speak with Dr. Michael Burgess, a physician and former Republican congressman from Texas.
And the Cardinals are back above 500 with a win over the Phillies, a series win for them. Off day today, and then it is a series at Wrigley Field tomorrow afternoon. They will get started against the Cubs. So please join the show with all the numbers and methods of contacting us that we gave you. But right now, we decided Brad Young was in studio here. He was hosting, and he started to walk out, and I put him in a headlock, and I said, you're not leaving yet.
Said absolutely not.
You will stick around for one more segment with us. And so Brad Young is here, our legal expert.
And by the way, during the headlock, I noticed you wear Axe body spray.
It's great.
Very nice.
Four different kinds of ones.
It's very nice.
One on each limb.
He also uses the Axe body spray, 5-in-1 shampoo, conditioner, body wash, lotion, everything.
And I don't rinse it off. All right, so Brad Young, we have a lot of stuff to talk about with you. Yeah. We are going to talk about these flock cameras coming up here. We have a guest on that who will be joining us at 9:30. And these are creating a little bit of controversy. The police seem to like them. People seem to not like them. I think the problem with them for people is they're not exactly sure how they're being used. And what are the legal challenges of these cameras? What sort of rights do people have? Because I think there's a sentiment out there that they're pretty invasive, even though we do have cameras everywhere anyway.
We do. But in the last 8 years, Chris, the Supreme Court has held two major decisions dealing exactly with being tracked in our society. The first was in 2018, Carpenter versus U.S. It was a situation where police were using cell phone towers and pings to monitor where a person was going, didn't have a warrant, and they monitored and created this detailed dossier of every place where this guy was going, and then they used that as evidence against him. Went up to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said under the Fourth Amendment, if you track somebody, and it was a little bit of a squishy opinion, but the gist of it was if you track someone to where you have a complete plan of every place that they go, that is a Fourth Amendment search and seizure violation unless you get a warrant. Now, they didn't say how far can you go? Can you track them for a day? Can you track them for 26 hours? You know, that's the part that's kind of squishy, right? And then this year, we had a decision from the Supreme Court stating that geofencing is also unconstitutional. What is geofencing? Geofencing is where the police contact Google and they say, for this cell tower at XYZ location, we want everyone who pinged on that cell tower from this time to this time. And you get tens of thousands of people that would have pinged by driving past a cell tower. And then you take that information and you narrow it down until you get to the suspect that they're looking for. Supreme Court said that's a problem because, number one, you don't have a warrant. If you had a warrant, it'd be fine. No warrant. And number two, you're collecting information from 10,000 innocent people in order to get to that one person who might be guilty. So the Supreme Court has really weighed in on this issue.
Because when you think about it, we are all being tracked 24/7 with our phones, with other people's phones, with cameras, with Ring cameras. If you really wanted to know where any average American is at any given time, you could probably find that out. So if not for the Fourth Amendment, we could all be, the authorities could look at our locations at any time, correct?
Correct.
Because basically, aren't we, because of technology, all being tracked?
We are
constantly.
But there's also a bigger argument there, and that is what's the difference between being tracked without your consent or being tracked when you consent to it? Because in other words, on your phone, you can enable or disengage the tracking features on your phone. But if they're turned on so that your girlfriend or boyfriend can see where you are, or are they en route to the party or whatever, is it different? And this is one of the questions we have to grapple with. Is it different when we're voluntarily saying, here we are, as opposed to the police coming in and tracking us involuntarily?
But let's say you don't have your location services on. No one's tracking me, right? Say that.
But they still,
But
they
the
still
phone-
can track you.
Because isn't there like
right?
when I'm hiking, GPS will kick in occasionally when there's no service, meaning somebody knows where my phone is at
Correct.
all times.
Correct.
So
And-
couldn't the authorities technically say whether you're voluntarily sharing your location or not, between cell phone towers and GPS capabilities, somebody could really find out where I am?
It's harder when you don't have location of services turned on. It's harder to get that information. Not impossible.
Okay.
But here the question becomes then is at what point does a warrant need to be obtained? Because there's no question on all of these cases that the Supreme Court deals with. If the police had gone and got a warrant, then due process is satisfied. There's no Fourth Amendment problem because you have two different entities, government entities. You have, in essence, the executive branch and you have the judicial branch that are signing off on doing this. And so that satisfies the due process. The problem is if the cops just call up Google and say, hey, tell me every place that Amy Markscores has been for the last 3 days, and there's no warrant, that's the problem.
Is there a because the conversation is always out there that your phone is following you, it's tracking what you're doing, you start talking about something, and then suddenly you're getting ads for that thing later in the day.
What?
They say that's what happens. And
it's so true.
so
It's
there's
so
this
true.
there is this knowledge that if you've got a phone on you, you're probably being tracked. If it's not explicitly said to you that, hey, when you buy this phone, here are all the, here's the language, the legal language that you are being tracked. Okay. If that's not spelled out to you when you buy a phone, do you have protections at all?
No.
Or is there the reality that, hey, everybody knows what's happening with cell phones, and if you buy one, you know what you're getting into? Do you see what I'm saying here?
Sure.
Is that kind of the deal?
Sure. Whenever you turn on your location of services on your phone, that triggers something acknowledging that you're doing it. And just like when you use apps and you just say, yes, I've read the terms of service, nobody reads those. I don't read those. Okay, I just click the box, right?
Yeah.
So I promise you that there are layers of contractual protections that would prevent you from suing either your phone maker or your service because they're tracking.
Brad, what about, are there any protections for consumers? Because what if a company says, I'm going to make the fine print 100 pages long, knowing that nobody is going to read this boring legalese that's 100 pages long, and in the middle of it says, and also if you check this box, you're a big fat communist, and and say like, and you are culpable for anything bad that happens while you're carrying this phone, and it's one line in 100 pages. is there some kind of legal protection that would say, like the reasonable person knows you can't hide something in 100 pages knowing no one's going to read it, or is that still my fault?
No, there's one fallback procedure. This was one of the greatest phrases in law school. It's called shock the conscience of the court. Let me give you a crazy example. If in the terms of service, by clicking this box, and in those 100 pages, it says, you hereby transfer title of your house to Apple by clicking yes. Okay, let's assume that. And that would trigger what's called shocks the conscience of the court, meaning the court doesn't have a real reason. They just know, oh, that smells bad, and we're gonna strike it down. Now, short of transferring your house, okay, anything related to the phone itself would be deemed you consent to it by checking that box, I agree to these terms of services.
Even if it's unreasonable for an average person to read all of that?
Yes.
Okay.
What if it says something like, and maybe this is true, but anytime your camera's on, that Apple has forever access to photos. I mean, we know that, scandalous photos are on a lot of people's phones, and that ends up in the news. So what happens if you're deleting those photos, but Apple says, well, we still have them in the cloud or somewhere?
Yeah, everything would have to be balanced by a court, but the burden would be on the plaintiff, the two of you, if you were going to sue about it. The burden would be to show that this is unreasonable whenever there's a whole lot of case law that says by you waiving it and you not reading it, you assume the risk of what's in those terms of services when you don't read it.
All right, last thing for you, Brad. There was a Powerball winner, a $1 billion Powerball jackpot. The guy got the money, or we don't know who got it, in Quincy, Illinois at a Hy-Vee. What's the first thing you do?
First thing you do is change your phone number. No, but seriously.
Really? No, I took you seriously. Is that true or no?
Yeah, because everybody's going to be calling you to ask for money.
Yes.
So, no, but legally, the first thing you do is, I think, and I've looked into this before because I had a client ask me about it, so I looked into it. I think that, and I would certainly defer to a tax expert, but you create a trust, and then you take all the money and you sell the winning lottery ticket to the trust for $1, and then it's the Chris Ranji Trust, and the trust has the money, and then you set yourself up on a stipend, on a whatever. So that way you don't even have the money. It's in somebody else's name, but then you have estate planning attorneys and tax attorneys set it up to minimize your tax impact because you don't even own the ticket.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Now, listen, I would say defer. I would defer to a tax expert and an estate planning expert. Let me give that disclaimer. That's not me, but that's what I would do.
I had one more question from Brad.
What's it about?
Did you hear about the Winghaven golf scandal?
I did.
So can the guy, if you lie about a hole-in-one and there's thousands of dollars or any money involved, could he be criminally liable?
Yes. It's called, you could both be criminally liable for fraud, and he could be sued for what's called conversion under Missouri law for stealing the money. Yes, he has lots of potential legal issues.
Could he go to prison?
I don't know that he'd go to prison. He could get suspended sentence because probably got a pretty good record. But yeah, he could technically, if he's got prior criminal behavior, yeah, he could go to prison.
Would it be, Winghaven going after him? Who would go after him?
Yeah, Winghaven could because he was stealing money from Winghaven.
Wow.
If you get a hole-in-one, they pay you money. And because they want to brag about, hey, this guy got a hole-in-one, come and join our country club, right? So they get a benefit out of it.
Yeah.
And if he stole the money, they could sue him.
Brad Young,
Wow.
we appreciate your expertise, as always.
My pleasure, guys.
Thanks for hanging out.
Happy to do it.
Thank
That is
you.
KMOX legal analyst Brad Young with us on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage. So I'm telling you guys all the time, if you have a complicated medical issue, hire the best doctor you can. If it's a complicated legal issue, hire the best lawyer you can. Stewie, same thing goes for a mortgage.
You know what, Dave? That's so important. And most people today, they go on a computer and they say, okay, I'm shopping for a mortgage. I'll get some rocket ship mortgage or something else, and that's what I'll do. Wrong. Your home is the biggest investment you're going to make in your life. Don't be foolish. When you're making a major decision like this, you want to have an expert, and you want that expert to be available when it's convenient for you. We give out our personal cell phone number. You can call us nights, weekends. Text us when you're available. This is called accessibility to the biggest and best expert. That's us. You can get the right advice and the right product when you connect.
Call Stuart on his cell phone, 314-324-4440. Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS 226715.
For years, Gone South has been a podcast about crime in the American South. But for our new season, we're widening the lens. Through deeply reported, narrative-driven stories, we're digging into the myths, scandals, and power structures that still shape the South, and, in a lot of ways, the country itself. Follow and listen to Gone South Season 5, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Pros, find the right flooring for the job in Lowe's newly redesigned flooring showroom. Shop our expanded assortment of trusted brands and get up to 35% off style selections, Stainmaster, and Stainmaster Pet Protect Special Order Carpet. And while you're here, save $100 on the DeWalt 20-volt max 6-amp-hour 2-pack of batteries, now just $179. Get more of what you need faster and save more where it counts from the ground up. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 8/26 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Running a business shouldn't feel like a juggling act. One app for accounting, another for inventory, one more for sales, and somehow they never work together. Or you could use Odoo, one fully integrated platform with all the business applications you need. CRM, inventory, accounting, marketing, and more. All working together seamlessly. Stop juggling software and get back to growing your business. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
For over 25 years, Styles Clothing Company has been serving the St. Louis community, and they're just getting started. They offer custom screen printing, embroidery, and promotional items for sports teams, schools, businesses, family reunions, and special events. Quality products and service guaranteed. Styles Clothing Company would like to thank all of its customers. Call now and mention you heard this commercial on this station for 15% off for the month of August. Styles Clothing Company. Call 314-831-6559 or go to stylesclothing.com.
Don't miss Mosby Building Arts Home Improvement Show, Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on KMOX. One of the last call-in shows where you can get live answers to your remodeling, design, and construction questions. Tune in Saturdays at 11 a.m.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
Built on a century. Focused on today. The voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Well, I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm right.
Okay.
I told you this was going to happen.
What's that?
Said this yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
We had an extreme heat warning in effect until Tuesday, and then they said, oh, actually, it's Wednesday. Then it was Thursday. I'm like, they're just going to keep doing this. They're going to keep doing this, and here we are. An extreme heat warning is in effect in St. Louis until Saturday night now. But, you know, I feel like I'm still looking at the forecast here. Well, I suppose Monday it's going to be mid-80s, so there you go. But it's still going to be 94-something on Sunday. So I can't stand this anymore.
I know. You know what it is?
Can't stand it.
It really is the boy who cried wolf, or... You know, I think they know. I think they know it's going to be extended until Saturday, but they want to give the people hope.
Why?
So they say Tuesday.
No, because I don't want the gut punch of, actually, you know how we were supposed to be out of the woods by tomorrow at 8 p.m.? Changed our mind.
They really changed their mind. Saturday is not even close. I have seen on AccuWeather and the Weather Channel 100 for Saturday, actual temperature. We have some I don't know, rinky-dink, TV screens in our office. You know how some offices will have TV screens in the lobby and they just show motivational phrases and the temperature? We have that. Our little screen yesterday showed actual temperature 107 on Saturday, but I haven't seen that anywhere else.
No, it's not going to be 107.
But they also give motivational phrases that aren't real, like do your best. It's the best you can do. Abraham Lincoln. I don't think he said that. That doesn't sound like something Abraham Lincoln would say.
I've never seen any of those messages.
You
but
haven't?
I would say, no, not on our screen, but I would say that the likelihood of the real feel being 107 is probably pretty high.
Well, I think it's supposed to be higher than that, the real feel.
Disgusting. So it brings us to the question of the week. Might as well go ahead and vote now. Follow us on Twitter at Chris Amy KMOX. All of our show happenings are there. And you can vote in our question of the week, which was actually a Michael Kelly idea from last week. And basically it is, would you rather have 2 extra weeks of miserably hot weather in the summer and lose 2 really cold weeks in the winter, or the opposite of that? Would you rather have the 2 extra cold weeks and sacrifice 2 very hot weeks? Well, I couldn't wait to vote in this one. And I knew I was going to lose because people are weird about the heat and they love it for some reason. It's awful. This is awful, awful, awful. But go vote in the poll. And I'm losing. I know I'm losing in this one. And that's fine.
And I hate to say it, but I am on your side on this one.
Yes.
Even though I get it. I've suffered. I'm out there running and it is cold. And there are times when I kind of want to cry. But the thing is, you come in from the cold, you almost look a little cute. Your nose is red, your cheeks are red, you feel alive, it's all cozy inside, you drink hot coffee, you sit by the fire, and you feel relaxed. When you come inside from the heat and you've been working out or working in the yard or any kind of energy in the heat, or even just standing there, you kind of still feel like throwing up for 48 hours.
You have when you come in from the outdoors and you've done anything remotely physical and it's this kind of weather, when you come inside, there's another step. And the other step is you have to take a shower.
But then you keep sweating post-shower.
Right. When it's cold and you come inside, just take your jacket off. That's it. Take your shoes and jacket off like you would anyway.
So I
had
a workout yesterday morning, and I was done with the workout by 6:30 in the morning, and my Garmin tags the temperature, and it said like 84 degrees at 6:30 in the morning. I mean, pretty hot and pretty humid.
Stupid.
And I showered at the gym, and then here I am getting ready for work at the gym. I have my work clothes on, but I'm still sweating. I was just still sweating. I couldn't stop sweating.
Bad.
Even though I showered. Hey, I have a quick question apropos of nothing. I just have to ask Matt. You can jump in on this because this is something that you might know. And again, this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about. We're going to waste 10 seconds on it. Fill in the blank. Hall & Oates. Because your kiss is on my
lips.
Thank you.
Wait, no, it's
That's
list.
wrong. It's list.
Yes.
I thought it was lips.
I forgot. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. See. Yeah. I'm impressed. I thought I would be the only one who thought it was lips.
It's on his list of the things that he wants.
Of the best things in life.
Yes.
But I just thought it was. I was singing this song on the way to work because yes, I listen to yacht rock a lot, and I was singing "Your Kiss Is on My Lips," and then I looked down at the name of the song on the little screen on my car. It said list.
If you know the next line in the song, lips doesn't make any sense.
I know, but I thought the first line.
So that should right there have told you that you didn't.
I know, but that doesn't stop me. It's like the first line of Brown Eyed Girl I thought was for a long time, "Hey there, Rodrigo." But they never mentioned Rodrigo again in the entire song. And I still thought it was, "Hey there, Rodrigo. Day is when the rains came."
All you have to do is a little critical thinking when you hear song lyrics and it doesn't make sense, that there's a pretty good chance you have the lyric wrong.
Well, what about "Here come old flat top, he come grooving up slowly"?
Well, the Beatles did that a lot.
So how do I know this isn't a Beatles moment?
Most people are not the Beatles. That's why. Chris and Amy show on KMOX. We got a lot of good guests on the show today. In a moment, we're going to talk to Fernando Alfonso with the New York Times about flock cameras. Got a piece there on them, how they are tracking every car in America, or at least have the ability to do that. So we'll talk to him. Matt Pauley will visit with us on the Cardinals at 10, Major Garrett at 10:30. And we're going to talk vaccines with former Republican congressman from Texas and physician Dr. Michael Burgess. He'll be with us at 11. It's the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Cardinals conversation doesn't end when the game does. Watch the Gas House Game, Redbird Rush Hour, Sports Open Line, and sports on a Sunday morning whenever and wherever you want. Plus, exclusive conversations with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol, president of baseball operations Chaim Bloom, players, broadcasters, and baseball insiders. Subscribe today to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel because Cardinals fans deserve a front row seat. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
83 degrees, real feel temperature 96, cloudy and humid today, a high of 93. Tonight, mostly cloudy, very humid, thunderstorms in parts of the area, a low of 75.
Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Why pay full insurance when you can customize and save? Switch to Liberty Mutual and they'll customize your auto and home insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Tired of your phone bill constantly going up? Stop the madness with Boost Mobile. Get unlimited talk, text, and data for just $25 a month. No contracts, no catches. And that $25 price is locked in forever. Switch to Boost Mobile today.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's 5 o'clock. Your employees are headed home, but you're still updating spreadsheets, switching between software, and wondering where the day went. There's a better way. Odoo brings accounting, sales, inventory, CRM, and more together in one fully integrated platform. So you spend less time managing software and more time running your business, because your workday should end eventually. Try Odoo free at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hey guys, Glover here with my very good friend John Moriarty from E3 Wealth. John and I go back years and years and years. John, it's great to have you back in the DGS fold. Tell everyone who's unfamiliar with E3 Wealth what you guys are all about.
Thanks, Dave. So happy to be back. E3, the 3 E's stand for Educate, Empower, Enlighten. We founded the firm, and sometimes we refer to it as E3 Consultants Group, because we want to proactively challenge the status quo as to how Americans are educated about money and finance-related decisions. It's a lot. So really what we try to do for our clients is help them think differently about money. And recently we've been doing a ton of things with business owners because we see that as an area where we can provide tremendous growth for them, because we can help them build wealth through their business and also reduce their income tax liabilities. And when you can do that for a business owner, it makes a huge difference in their life.
It's kind of one-stop shopping for all finances, personal and business.
Absolutely. Yes, that's our focus. That's what we're attempting to do with our new book that's coming out called The Entrepreneur Playbook. We're going to be able to help a lot of people understand strategies, ideas on how to build their wealth and also protect it.
So John is a total pro, completely vouch for him as a person. Love this guy. No pressure, no hard sales. You want to learn more about your finances, personal and business, reach out to John at e3wealth.com.
You know, here in St. Louis, word of mouth still matters, and I'm pretty careful about who I recommend, especially when it comes to something as personal as estate planning. I'm Tom Ackerman. My family has been working with the Laterman Law Firm for over 20 years now, and the reason is simple. They They don't just create documents and send you on your way. They help make sure your plan works. Because let's be honest, life changes. Family needs and circumstances change. Laws change. But most estate plans don't change over time as needs, circumstances, and laws change. They're outdated, sitting in a drawer. People assume they're fine, and their plan will work when they need it to work. At the Lederman Law Firm, it's not a one-time transaction. It's an ongoing process. They build a plan to protect your family and your assets, and then for a fixed annual fee, they help keep it up to date as both your life and assets change. Check out the Lederman Law Firm at LedermanLaw.com or give them a call at 314-514-9100. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements. This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Chris Ranji, Amy Markscore is with you. We were talking with attorney Brad Young earlier in the show about flock cameras and privacy issues. And the New York Times has also looked into these flock cameras, which are automated license plate readers that use AI, and they are everywhere, and they're really dividing the country right now. Well, joining us now is Texas-based editor for the New York Times, Fernando Alfonso, who has been following this story about flock cameras and how they're really tracking all of us at any given time. Fernando, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
I know a lot of our listeners have heard the phrase flock cameras. We've had some local news stories about police officers using flock cameras to follow ex-girlfriends and so forth. And so to kind of set the table, what exactly is a flock camera?
Yeah, it's not all that sophisticated technology. I mean, these cameras have been around for quite some time, Motorola, other companies, and really it's just a digital camera capable of capturing photos and videos and so forth, and attached with a solar panel. And the reason why they've become so ubiquitous is really because of how simple that setup is. There's no need to hardwire these into a grid or anything like that. You can place them next to a traffic light. You can place them on poles on the sides of roadways. I mean, that is reason why so many people have seen them come up overnight. I mean, what's really the power and what's unique about Flock is that it has a vast database where law enforcement officials can key in a license plate number and get countless results really of where that plate has been spotted in any given state, any given county. And so it's really, again, that database that really makes Flock pretty unique.
And so my understanding is the technology of and I think I read this right in your piece, that it can read a license plate from about 75 feet away. It can get your make, model, it can identify your car, right? And your license plate from that far away?
That's right, yeah, through these snapshots that the cameras take,
That's a pretty good distance. You would think that you'd have to be fairly close to the camera, but it can track you from a good distance, which is, I think, unnerving. Is that part of the problem for people?
I mean, certainly part of the problem. And I think, there's been a lot of questions from ordinary citizens around the retention of this information. The company has said, as of just before today, because the company has actually made news today, Flock that is, in terms of changing some of how it stores data and so forth, but that this data, before today was stored for, 30 days. Law enforcement agencies could adjust that retention period as they saw fit, given any type of investigation they were conducting. But certainly, look, I mean, digital cameras and camera technology has come a long way. Capturing images from a distance is not something super new, but certainly to your point, yeah, it does raise some concerns, I think, among ordinary people of, they could be some distance away and you can get a perfectly clear image of your car.
And as you kind of noted with Flock cameras, More than 7,000 organizations in the U.S. have contracts with Flock Safety. We've been focusing on law enforcement, but college campuses, homeowners associations have put them up. And so there have been civil liberties concerns specifically, aside from, I guess, the generic, you're being surveilled at all times. What cases have you seen come up that have been a concern for those who believe it's an invasion of privacy?
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the ones that have cut across the whole country and where I've seen them particularly in Texas and Houston as well is, these concerns around law enforcement officials, officers, these are people and people have grudges, people have relationships. And when these officers have access to this technology, we've seen folks look up spouses, former partners. We've seen a case of officers looking up here in Texas, a woman who was trying to get an abortion. Those kinds of cases, again, have become very prevalent. And there have been, to be fair, actions taken like in Georgia and other states against officers misusing this database. And, Flock will tell us and have told many news organizations that in order to use the database, you have to put in, a case number or a reason, for example, as to why you're looking up a particular license plate, that you just can't type it in. It's not Google search, that you have to go through some checks and some balances there. Yeah, I mean, really just the kind of casual searching for a license plate and a car description tied to an officer's kind of personal life, I think has kind of left people very unnerved in terms of, if I'm an ordinary citizen and I'm not being investigated by the police, I have no reason for the police to be looking me up. Could they be doing that? And then that's, what has kind of cropped up.
Fernando Alfonso from the New York Times is with us on KMOX. And you mentioned a woman who was, the sheriff's office was seeking, or they thought she was seeking an abortion. And so if I've got the story right, they checked tens of thousands of cameras around the country to see if she had traveled out of state to receive an abortion. Is that the story that you're referring to?
That's right. Yes. This was reported by 404 Media. So I want to give them tremendous credit. They're an independent news organization. And yes, that, basically someone in Texas, a law enforcement officer in Texas, had done a search for this person, their car, this woman's car, and ended up queuing up, footage from around the country in states where, abortion is legal and abortion is illegal. And it's just, again, it just caused it really startled, I think, people to see like, wow, if this is really how this technology can be used, that's actually very concerning because, again, the power of Flock is not in the physical hardware, it's in this database. And the fact that, you ask any law enforcement agency, do they allow the footage captured by their Flock cameras to be accessible at a national level? Many will say yes. Like there's no kind of firewall between what Texas agencies are allowing versus what is accessible across the country. And it's just that, I think the case of this woman seeking an abortion showed just how kind of, remarkably intense this kind of power can be, this access can be.
You mentioned opposition groups like DFlock, a group which wants to raise awareness about the cameras, even mapping their locations. But when you look at the pushback to these Flock cameras, is it focused primarily on Flock, or is it focused on, say, the communities, the college campuses, the homeowners associations that put the cameras up?
DFlock, it's a fascinating community of really what amounts to folks that are very privacy, surveillance obsessed and focused, and are very concerned about that. But really, what we've seen here in Texas.
I believe we've lost.
It's
there he is.
a lot
He's
of
back.
ordinary citizens. I'm sorry about
we
that.
lost you. We lost you for just a second, Fernando.
Oh, no worries. Sorry about that. Yeah. So what I was saying is, DFLOC is this combination of, privacy obsessed folks, but also just ordinary Americans. In Texas, we saw, I spoke with a professional woman who also has a family in North Texas who, started seeing these cameras in her community and then started to kind of interact and work with folks on DFLOC and reach out to folks and just to get some understanding of just how prevalent this technology, these flock cameras had become in her neighborhood and in her city. And, DFLOC, I think, is, it also allows people to kind of track their daily commute. So from your home to your work, it will show you how many cameras you pass by. And, for a lot of folks, I even did it myself. And when I plotted my daily routine of going to like the grocery store, I passed by like 5 different cameras. And so it's, folks will say on DFLOC that this is about educating the public on just how many of these cameras are out there, because really up until this point of the existence, before this site existed, there wasn't really a way to accurately grasp how large this network of cameras was. I mean, we found out from Flock themselves that they have over 120,000 of their cameras out in the United States, which tracks very closely to what DFLOC has plotted on their map. And granted, DFLOC includes other manufacturers, not just Flock. But, I did a ride along with the man in North Texas as well, and he's just, a cell phone tower kind of technician, and he just plots the cameras on his daily commute to work. It's just, it's a pretty casual thing, really.
And so because these are so prevalent and it does appear to be growing, is this pushback against them going to have any sort of, or would you suspect it'll have any sort of real effect on just how prevalent they become?
Oh, 100%. I mean, here in Texas and across the country, frankly, we have seen people becoming more civically engaged than ever before, really. I mean, America's been kind of on this slow decline in terms of civic engagement. People don't go to public meetings. They don't speak up and comment publicly in their town hall meetings. And really what we've seen all across Texas and really, again, across America is that folks are turning out and they are going to their local government leaders and asking questions about why have they gotten into these contracts with Flock? How much is that costing the taxpayer? What is the retention policy for the footage obtained through Flock? And so, again, I go back to this mom that I spoke with in North Texas. She started a digital petition over, hundreds of signatures she gathered from her neighbors to bring forth to City Hall to ask them, to stop having this relationship with Flock, to void this contract. Like, they push for that. Then you also have a congressman in North Texas as well who is pushing for legislation that prevents the federal government from having access to Flock cameras in any given state. And so yes, there's vandalism and there's people spray painting and knocking down the cameras, even shooting at the cameras. But and that's all illegal, obviously. But what's really kind of more surprising is to see, again, this groundswell of civic engagement around anti-Flock sentiment, really.
It's really interesting, the whole thing, and I think that all of us should be paying attention to it. Very good work done, Fernando Alfonso with the New York Times. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I will say this, Ron. A few years ago, Charlie Brennan and I spoke with the lead digital espionage reporter for the New York Times, Nicole Perlroth. She wrote a book called This Is How They Tell Me the World Ends, about how we've all lost our privacy online and how it's too late. I wonder if, because these are physical, they're in front of us and we can take action, maybe it's not too late when it comes to mass surveillance. I don't know.
There's a knowledge the cameras are everywhere. We know that. Businesses have them on their buildings, because just for security purposes. And so I think we can all live with that. But I think there can be a point, though, where you're like, all right, that's enough cameras. Yeah. We don't need more cameras all over the place. We know they're on lamp posts all over cities and whatnot. I mean, you could find them anywhere.
It was an issue in Airbnbs for a while.
Oh yeah,
that people had cameras inside.
I
those
do
places.
think it is a wild thing that people have security cameras inside their homes posted up in the corner of the ceiling, just in living rooms and in bedrooms. I think that is. Look, if you need a camera for security, you want it on the outside, right? Don't you want to see people?
Well, like I've
trying to break
house-sat
in if that's what you're worried about.
I've house sat and I'm like, what if they had cameras?
Yeah.
Like, because you're changing clothes in your bedroom. I mean,
I don't know why you'd want that. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but people do it. Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars, every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you.
And Doug.
Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Hi, I'm Mark Cantor. The people around here are hardworking people, just like you. And when someone in your family gets hurt in a car wreck, everything can change very fast. That's why having a local lawyer matters. At Cantor Injury Law, we know these towns, these roads, and the people who drive them every day. When you call us, you're calling a local team with boots on the ground, ready to fight for you. You can count on Cantor.
CantorInjuryLaw.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
I've noticed over the last 15 years, no, let's just say 10 years, how astronomical the prices to heat and cooler homes are for the equipment. Because there was a time when you would call me and it was affordable. If you have a house and you want air conditioning and you just want it to cool your house and you want to heat your house, I have a system that I made a special buy on that will do just that and save you money. Common sense will tell you if you just replace your old, and I'm talking 15, 20, 25, 30, 35-year-old system with a new system, you're going to save big dollars. If you're interested in that, call me. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600. Again, it's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600. God bless.
Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores, and you can find a location at supplementsuperstores.com. Look, Burn Balance Complex is different, okay? It's a game changer. It is a complete, all-natural metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. If you're someone that doesn't want to get a prescription, if you don't want to go get injections, Burn Balance Complex can get your metabolism rocking the way that it's supposed to, and you notice it really early on. because you start to notice clothes are fitting a little differently. You're seeing results, which then kind of gives you motivation to keep on going, right? Well, on top of the metabolism boost, you're also going to notice reduced stress with lower cortisol levels, appetite and craving control, which is absolutely critical to staying on a plan, plus all-day focused energy, no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. And look, it's not magic. You got to do the work, but Burn Balance Complex has made that work so much easier for me. It'll do the same for you. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off right then and there. And you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
The Chris and Amy Show is video streaming now on KMOX's YouTube, X, and Facebook pages. Click and subscribe. Now, did you see this? With Chris and Amy.
Amy, I know that we talked about it yesterday, but did you see, and just for people who didn't know, the Field of Dreams game is today.
I did see that.
The Phillies go into Dyersville, Iowa with their tail between their legs after the Cardinals took 2 of 3 from them at Busch Stadium. They will play the Minnesota Twins tonight.
Dyersville is something of an ominous name for a town, isn't it?
Dyers.
Not like Dire Straits.
Correct. Dyersville.
Oh, interesting.
So, yeah, that's been the site of the farm from the movie. And it has changed ownership a couple of times in the last decade or so. But it's a very, very cool place. You ever get a chance to go out there, you should do it.
Ranj, I don't know if you saw this. This is across the Atlantic in the UK. Count Binface. He's a, quote, intergalactic,
he's running for office, right?
Space warrior. He wears a trash can over his head. He has a full outfit.
Yeah.
He is the top contender to become a member of the UK's parliament. The satirical candidate, Count Binface, is in fact the most prominent challenger to the right-wing populist Reform Party leader, Nigel Farage, in today's special election for a seat representing Clacton-on-Sea. It's a struggling seaside town about 70 miles from London. So Count Binface is actually the Oxford-educated comedian John Harvey, who is known for challenging high-profile politicians in elections. But this time, he is actually the major opposition candidate.
I know it sounds like I'm going to say this because it's their problem, and so I can watch it from afar and enjoy it, but I kind of wish Binface would run for office here and win. I do. It can't be any stupider than what we have. So I am all in favor of it.
Was not Volodymyr Zelensky a comedian who had a show on their version of Netflix called Servant of the People about a regular guy, a teacher who becomes the prime minister, and then lo and behold, he's the president.
That's right. Did you see this restaurant in Los Angeles? It's actually right in Hollywood. It's called Class Steakhouse. It's CLASS, and it is an acronym for Culinary, Luxury, and Superb Service, okay?
Okay.
And they have a special one night a month. The first Monday of every month, they have, Amy, a nude dinner where people can have steak naked.
I did hear about this.
Now, all the employees are wearing clothing because it's a health hazard. You have to, and you have to have shoes and socks and clothing. That's just the rule.
But the diners.
But all the diners, if you want, you may have a towel over your lap.
Well, you don't want to drop steak sauce. You know what I mean?
They have a special seat for you to sit on. You know, a little cover for the seat.
That's good. Did you know it is cheaper for the ladies than the gentlemen? I believe it's something. I think it's like $100 difference, where it is $150 for a lady diner, but $250 for a male diner.
Well, you have time to get your reservations in. The next nude dining experience is September 7th. So.
Do you want to eat steak naked?
Not really.
I don't really want to eat anything naked, and I don't want to eat next to naked people.
I mean, I wouldn't mind that necessarily.
You would be fully clothed sitting at a table next to a bunch of naked men and women?
I don't see why not.
Oh, you'll see.
Take your shirt off, too.
They're not gonna come rub it on my food. I don't think.
Tarp gotta come on, baby.
Now, except unless.
Now, why did he do that?
Now, what if he gets up? If the guy next to me gets up to use the restroom,
it could be a bad level.
And then crack is right in my face.
It's a really bad level for someone to stand up Forward or backwards?
Cardinals are back above 500 with a win. Off day today. Let's talk it over with Matt Pauley next on KMOX.
Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. And look, if you are looking to get more out of today's MLB action, FanDuel has you covered. Because right now you can head to the FanDuel app and claim a profit boost that you can use on any bet type for today's games. That's any bet type. Money lines, totals, home runs, player props, parlays, however you like to play, it'll apply. It's simple. You just tap claim now, you grab your token, and you apply it to your bet before you place it. So maybe you're going to back your favorite team to win. Maybe you like the over because of a poor pitching matchup. Maybe you're just calling your shot and picking someone to go yard on a home run. Whatever you're feeling, use your boost to get more out of your bet. So you just go to FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel is your home for home runs this summer. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. And if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
I'm John Morgan. There are many reasons to hire Morgan & Morgan for your injury case. Reason number 3. First, all lawyers are not the same. If my family had an injury case and I couldn't hire us, there are only about 3 to 4% of the lawyers out there that I would hire. And here's why. Most of them rarely, if ever, go to trial. They just take the last best offer. Hell, you can do that yourself. Do this. If you're looking for a lawyer, Google Morgan & Morgan results and see what comes up. It may shock you. Then Google the firm you're thinking of hiring and do the same. That may shock you as well. We became the largest injury firm in the world for a reason. We won a lot. $30 billion and counting. Morgan & Morgan. For the people.com. Who would I hire? I'd hire us.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. The voice of St. Louis.
It's going on 10:01, and we've got partly sunny skies. It's already 85 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey. A trial against Meta is underway in Oakland, California. The social media giant facing a lawsuit from a group of state attorneys general about how their platforms affect the mental health of teens and kids. More from ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Meta claims that the damages could be as high as $1.4 trillion, by far the biggest penalty yet. And just last week, a New Mexico judge ordered the company to pay $567 million. In a similar case, Meta says that rather than sticking to the facts or the law, the state AGs have instead decided to chase an outlandish payout, and it stands by its record, creating strong protections for teens.
Wentzville Police Chief Paul West will retire in November after 46 years in law enforcement, 14 of which were with the city of Wentzville. Major Leon Burton will succeed him. Burton has been with the Wentzville Department for 25 years. A lucky Powerball winner is $1 billion richer today. The ticket for the jackpot prize was sold at a gas station in Quincy, Illinois, although the winner or winners have not yet come forward. John Marshall is the manager at the Fast and Fresh where that ticket was sold.
I got a phone call at 3 a.m. from the other gas station manager in town. We have 2 Hy-Vee Fast and Freshes here in Quincy, and he called me, and at 3 a.m. I thought something was wrong, but he just wanted to let me know that we sold the winning ticket. So I got me on the horn, and then I haven't been asleep since.
City officials announced an historic bank just north of downtown will not be demolished. It will be redeveloped. The almost 100-year-old Cass Bank and Trust building at the corner of 13th and Cass has been vacant for more than a decade. Last used as a Greyhound bus terminal, it's now being used by the homeless. Post-Dispatch reporting the building's owner, developer Paul McKee, is bewildered by the city's change of heart, saying he already hired a company to demolish it. Alderman Rasheen Aldridge thinks it has potential to be something great. A research team studying maps and checking its gear in preparation for a trip to a remote island between Australia and Hawaii. ABC's Jim Ryan says it'll be a voyage nearly 90 years into the past.
16 specialists hope to find the answer to an enduring mystery, the disappearance of pilot Amelia Earhart during her round-the-world flight in 1937. The group plans an expedition to a remote Pacific island in October. Satellite images show intriguing shapes in a lagoon that could be Earhart's twin-engine Lockheed Electra.
The extreme heat warning remains in effect through 9 p.m. Saturday. This afternoon will be partly sunny, hot and humid with a high of 94. And AccuWeather real feel temperature between 100 and 105. Partly cloudy, warm and very humid tonight with a thunderstorm in parts of the area, the low 79. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, very hot and humid, the high 98. Saturday, mostly sunny, quite hot and humid, high 99. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
The weather is sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies. It's 85 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Prices seem to go up every time you leave the house. Groceries, gas, insurance, you name it. The good news, your retirement doesn't have to be just as stressful. Tune in to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturdays at 7 a.m. Let us help you retire younger, richer, and with less anxiety.
Chris Ranchi, Amy Mark scores because life is too short for boring radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
The 2-2 pitch, here it comes. It's hit towards right center field. Long way to run for Jordan Walker, and he dives, and he made the catch. What a play by Jordan Walker in right center field. That was going to go to the wall, at least a double, and Walker timed it perfectly. He laid out with his big frame and brought it in. What a play by Jay Walk.
Yo, Paulie!
Paulie's a great name.
Yo, Paulie!
What'd you do for Paulie? Anything?
Me, Paulie! I was responsible!
Paulie, we're here because of you.
And Jordan Walker with an RBI double in a 7-1 win over the Phillies at Busch Stadium yesterday afternoon. So the Cardinals do take 2 of 3 from the Phils at home. Off day today. And then a Cubs series at Wrigley Field tomorrow. It'll be a 1:20 first pitch, which means going to be some afternoon baseball on a Friday tomorrow, and you can listen to the game and maybe go watch it somewhere. Post up at a tavern and watch some Cardinals baseball. It's time to go to the Quiver River Electric guest line. We welcome in Matt Pauley, host of Sports Open Line, pre- and post-game coverage, Redbird Rush Hour, which is at 5 o'clock every weekday. Matt, how's it going?
Good. It's going well for the Cardinals, too. Taking 2 out of 3 straight series. It's all good.
Yeah, I mean, they have, that's right, 3 straight series, and they are playing better baseball because they just went through a rough stretch there where things were not looking particularly good, but now here they are back above 500.
Yeah, and you give a lot of credit, I think, to a few things. The starting pitching has been fantastic, especially with 4 of your 5 guys. It's pretty remarkable when you think about the fact that they've got a rotation filled with guys who have not missed any starts. They've not missed a single start due to injury this year. And you have Kyle Leahy, who has a 3.38 ERA over 23 starts. You have Michael McGreevy with a 3.64 over 23 starts. And you have Andre Palante with a 3.46 over 23 starts. That's really where it starts, and it was nice to see them yesterday actually score some runs. They put together a really rare inning. When you go out and you string hits together like they did, and for it all to happen with 2 outs. That's what happened in that 4-run 5th inning yesterday. Cesar Prieto got the leadoff single, and then quickly there were 2 outs, and then everything that happened after that all happened with 2 outs. That's a really rare inning. That's something you're not going to see very often from any team in baseball, but it was fun to see it from the Cardinals yesterday.
A rare inning, but kind of harkens back to the beginning of the year when it felt like the Cardinals were overperforming expectations and they were never out of it. They would fight back. And I know we had been in a lull for about several weeks at least. So to see the team come back, win 3 series and win some of those games in the way they did kind of felt like the beginning of the year.
Yeah, and they hadn't won 3 series in a row, even in that good time. This is the first time all year long that they have 3 straight series victories. So for them to find a way, and really the way this series played out is pretty, I'll use the word remarkable again, because when the series started, you said to yourself, okay, if they have a chance to take this series, they really have to win the first game, because you're going to face off against Sanchez and Wheeler in games 2 and 3, and those guys are 2 of the best pitchers in the National League. So maybe you get one of them, and you got to go and you have to win that first game when you're facing off against a guy in Painter who's not especially good, who's got a +6 ERA. And they end up losing that game on Monday, and that was a really, really tough loss for them. And I think everybody associated with the team felt like they let one go a little bit there. So when that game ends, it's like, well, best case scenario at this point is maybe you lose 2 out of 3 for them to win this series, where they stay alive against Sanchez and then actually have some success against Wheeler yesterday. It's a really good series win.
And so Walker had the RBI double, as I mentioned yesterday, but since the All-Star break, it hasn't gone particularly well for him. And I saw this yesterday, Athlon Sports. They had a graphic of the 8 players who were in the home run derby. And other than Ben Rice, who's been really bad since the home run derby, Jordan Walker has been the second worst of that group of players. And so I know that you've gotten the question, I'm sure. And we talked about it leading into the home run derby, about there being a negative effect from participating in it. Is there anything residual that comes from it? Do you think that there is, or is it just completely coincidental that he just happened to participate in that event and he's been struggling since?
Yeah, I think it's coincidental. And if you look even at his numbers leading into the All-Star break, they started to go down a little bit before that. I think he's just going through the process of playing 162 games. It's really hard, and this is kind of the dog days period where you're trying to find it, and you hope you find that gear again before the season comes to an end. So I understand the question. The numbers are what the numbers are. You can't run away from it, right? His post-All-Star break numbers, he's got a 628 OPS pre-All-Star break, had an 886 OPS. So people who want to sit here and say that there's connections to the home run derby, I understand the question, and I think they're going down a path that you can back up statistically, but I would argue back that I think it's more of a coincidence than anything else. And again, I would point to the fact that the numbers had started to fall back even a little bit before the All-Star break.
Where do you suppose is the source of him struggling with power? Because early in the year, I mean, he was one of the home run leaders over the first, few weeks of the season. And the last 27 games, he's gone deep once, which is that's for somebody who was hitting for power early on, that has evaporated completely. What do you suppose is happening there? Is that, it's hot. And so it's, he's going through a long season. He's not used to it. Is there more to it than that?
I don't think so, and not the hot part. I think it's the long season part. You see this from guys at this type. This is literally the dog days. You get past the trade deadline. You're in August. You're coming up on September. I think physically, this is the toughest part of the season to make it through, especially for guys who have never done it. Jordan Walker has never played this many games that matter. The Cardinals are still very much in this thing. And plus, you do have pitchers who are really good, who all year long have been trying to study him to figure out the best way to get him out. And I think they're doing that right now. Previous times this year, he's been able to get out of it a little bit quicker. It's taking him a longer amount of time this year, but I don't think we need to put more meaning to it right now. I do think it's just simply the case of him fighting it here through a really tough time.
And you're looking at the home run totals for Walker, 23, Burleson, 19, Weatherholt, 16, Herrera, 13. When you look at that on this team, is that where you thought our top sluggers would be? Is it below it? Is it over?
I think for the most part, it's a little bit. Well, let's go one by one. Walker, 23. No, nobody saw that coming. Burleson 19, that's probably in the neighborhood. I think we looked at Alec Burleson and say this guy can be a 20 to 25 home run guy. So he's at 19 right now, which puts him on pace for around the neighborhood of 25. So he's probably on the upper end of what you expected. Weatherholt maybe a little bit to the upper end of what you expected. I think you saw him and said he could be a 15 to 20 home run guy, so he's on the top of that. Herrera is a disappointment. I thought Herrera would have many more home runs than that. I thought Herrera was going to be easily a 25-plus home run guy this year and maybe could even flirt with 30. So it's a mixed bag. I think overall where this team is at home run-wise, they've, hit 122 home runs, which isn't especially good. They are not a very good
bottom.
Power. Yeah. That's kind of what you expected this year from them, and that's one of the reasons people were worried, including myself, about this team's ability to score runs and then win games. So they found a way to win games, even not being a team with a ton of power. So it's two things, disappointment versus expectations. I'd say the expectations are kind of where they're at, but you can also be disappointed with the overall number.
I'll tell you what's amazing, and every team is different, and the Cardinals, not a good power team. They weren't a good power team last year. We all recognize that was part of the issue, and they haven't improved all that much this year, quite frankly. And in the last month, they've been really bad at it. So that is what it is. And then you look at the Milwaukee Brewers, who have the fewest amount of home runs hit in the entire league, and you can make an argument that is the best offense in baseball. There's only one other team with a better run differential than them, and that's the Dodgers. So it's amazing how that works. And you wouldn't want to have to do it that way, but somehow the Brewers are finding a way to do it.
Yeah, and I think that can be fool's gold for fans, because they can sit there and say, I'll sit here and say, hey, you need to hit home runs to win games. And then they can look back at me
look
and
at the
go,
Brewers,
well,
see?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and it's hard to argue that back, because the sheer numbers are they've scored a ton of runs and they don't hit home runs. They are a really unique team who does things better than a lot of other teams, or maybe every other team in baseball. And you can't go replicate being the Milwaukee Brewers. You just can't. They do things better and different than just about every team in baseball. So it is a weird thing. I would also say this, though. That's why you don't really believe in them as being one of the top contenders for the World Series. But they've got the best record in the National League, or tied for the best record in the National League. Their World Series odds right now, they've got the third best odds. So people still look at the Dodgers and the Yankees as having much better World Series odds than the Brewers, and it's because they are a team that is not as built for the postseason as some of these other teams. If you've got now their pitching is built for the postseason. You look at Jacob Mizorowski and you say, okay, this is a guy who can go win you a playoff game. So that's actually why the odds are a little bit better than they've been in previous years. But offensively, the lack of power, that's what scares you off about the Brewers.
The traditional thought is, well, the playoffs come around. You're going to face better pitching, so you better learn how to manufacture runs, or you better be able to do it. And it's not about the home run. But that doesn't really end up being true in reality, because some of the teams that do the best are the teams that are slugging when the playoffs come around. And I think this is another fascinating thing. I mean, we talked about where the Cardinals are in terms of home runs this season. They're 25th out of 30 teams. So from 25 all the way to 30, there are 4 of the six bottom teams in home runs are currently playoff teams, which is... That doesn't happen a lot. I mean, it's Milwaukee, Arizona, Boston, St. Louis.
Yeah, and I think baseball would probably be happy with that. I mean, when they put in the rules about having fielders on each side of the second base bag, part of the reason was they wanted teams to be able to string together hits more often. They want to see what the Cardinals did in the fifth inning yesterday happen more often. And but it's just hard.
Yep.
It's so hard to make that happen, and I'd love for it. That was a really entertaining moment. I'd love to see more stringing hits together and single after single after single and putting up a crooked number. It's just pitching is so good right now in baseball, you don't see it very often.
All right, so you will have a full slate of show tonight, right? You got Redbird Rush Hour at 5, Sports Open Line at 6.
Yeah. Let's go. 3 straight days, by the way, of Sports Open Line in the middle of baseball season outside of the All-Star break. That never happens.
Oh, that's right, because we had the day game yesterday, off day today, and then a day game on Friday, which is very rare. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel
rare,
about Wrigley Field?
Like it's old, but it's cool. It's fine. Yeah. I don't know. What am I supposed to say?
I don't know. John hates it. That's why I'm asking you.
People who work inside of it do not like it. It looks cool though, right?
It does.
Yeah.
It looks like it was built.
It is not. It does not have the modern amenities that people who work in the game of baseball are used to having.
No, it feels like it was built 120 years ago. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Matt.
like old ballparks though.
I do too. Fenway was one of the best ballpark experiences I ever had. Awesome.
I worked in Evansville, Indiana for a while, Bosse Field, where they taped a lot of A League of Their Own. I was in a league that had Macon, Georgia, historic Luther Williams Field. That's a really old ballpark. I like old ballparks.
I got to touch the green monster.
Oh, congratulations. I sat on top of it for a minute. It was good.
You did?
Yeah. Thanks, Matt.
You bet.
Yo, Paulie, your sister's with me. I'll call you back later. See ya.
He's got Redbird Rush Hour at 5, Sports Open Line 6 to 8 o'clock tonight. And yes, that'll happen again tomorrow because Cardinals have a day game with the Cubs. That series will get started. We got the pregame show at 12:25.
Question mark?
And a first pitch at 1:20. That'll be tomorrow from Wrigley Field. Cardinals Cubs on KMOX.
All right, nothing can ruin a party like mosquitoes eating you alive when you're outside in the yard, on the patio, on the deck. You're listening to Cardinals baseball. You're hanging out with family and friends. Maybe it's a birthday party, a baby shower, whatever it may be, and it kind of ruins everything. Before your next get-together, call Rottler. They have an entire program and treatment plan that reduces mosquito population for weeks at a time because they not only treat the mosquitoes, but the mosquito breeding sites. And I'm telling you, it is a game changer for hanging out outside. Also, if you're hearing buzzing around your home, that might be a sign that it's time to call Rottler because stinging insects like wasps, hornets, and carpenter bees, they can not only pose safety risks, stinging risks for your family, but they can cause costly damage to your home because a lot of those stinging insects tunnel into wood structures like decks, trims, and fences, or they build hidden nests, and you don't know it's a problem until it is. So call Rottler when you do. A real person will answer the phone. They offer same-day and next-day service with their technicians. Visit Rottler.com, Rottler.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to My Computer Career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com.
One city, one voice. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Did you hear? The $1 billion Powerball winning ticket was sold in Quincy, Illinois.
I did hear about that.
That feels local to me. A Quincy Hy-Vee gas station. I feel like, it's a river town.
It's 2 hours away.
Why does it feel local to me?
I don't know.
I think people go to Quincy a lot. Really? I've run races there, went there with my book signing. It feels, I know it's not Metro East. I get it. But I feel like we have a little bit of a tie to Quincy.
Does Bloomington Normal feel?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
That's Chicago.
It's about the same distance.
But I thought it's 3 hours.
No. It's like 2.5. It's 2:17, I think, to get to Quincy. Something like that.
It's over 2 hours to get to Quincy?
Yep.
That can't be right.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what Google Maps says.
I just feel like...
But it's not close. It's relatively close, but it's not in the backyard.
Remember when, I think it was the last $1 billion Powerball, there were 3 winning tickets sold, and one of them was in Spanish Lake.
I do remember Spanish Lake.
We've been within 2 hours then of the last 2 $1 billion Powerball winners.
Yeah. Maybe it's somebody who passes through St. Louis, but I do know that we do not have a Hy-Vee here.
We don't have Hy-Vees, do we?
No, we do not. If we do, it's way the hell out there in probably Wentzville or something, which might as well be the moon. I think it's
so mean.
I think we only really have, it's the Schnucks, Deerbergs. Those are the 2 big ones. And then, Straub's, Whole Foods.
Does Hy-Vee have gas stations?
It does.
Yeah. I think it was a Hy-Vee gas station.
It's both.
Oh.
I think it was like a food and gas kind of place. But Hy-Vee is where Kurt Warner worked.
That's right. If you had to buy a lottery ticket, where would you go to buy one to win $1 billion? So you're not buying a scratch off. You're not buying whatever the regular lottery is, but the big Powerball, and you have one place to go.
I don't think it matters. Literally does not matter at all.
Why does it feel like it does?
I don't know why it feels that way to you. Because it's just, it's very random.
I know.
So, yeah, no.
What's the closest to say? Spanish Lake is 100%. It's got to be the closest that anyone's ever won $1 billion.
Oh, well, I'm sure. There haven't been that many $1 billion jackpots. But if they are listening, because I would imagine Quincy, I need to look at the broadcast map, but I would think that Quincy is still in our listening area. You could probably get us up in Quincy.
It says, yes, you can hear KMOX 1120 in Quincy, Illinois.
Okay, because they do have their own TV stations, so they're not using St. Louis TV. So if they're listening, and they could be listening on the Odyssey app too, if you need a no guy, I am your no guy.
Mm-hmm.
And just to reiterate, I have always dreamed, if I can't be the billionaire myself, if I can't be the person who's won the Powerball of several $100 million or whatever, and I believe the lump sum is going to be $450 million.
Yeah.
And that's
always take the lump sum.
And that's pre-tax, right?
No, wait.
Or is
it's
it
one winner, I think. So it's $1 billion, and then post-tax, it's like
It's
$450.
Okay, well, so if you need somebody
Yeah.
whose sole purpose in your life is to tell people no, I will be that guy. I've always wanted to be that person. So, like, if I can't be the $400 million guy, it is my dream to be the person that you hire, who you direct all money requests to, and you send them to me, you give them my phone number, and the only thing I will ever do is say no. I want to do that so bad. Do you know how much fun it would be to have a person call you and say, hey, I'm Larry's cousin. We grew up together. We had so much fun when our parents used to get together. And I've got this thing. My leg has fallen off. And I need $20,000. I would find an artful way to say, I'm so sorry.
I was going to
sir, but we
ask,
cannot."
would it be artful, or would you say like blanky blank, Larry?
Well, I have a pretty good way with people. So I know, I know how to feel it out. Does this person need a delicate touch? Does this person need to be told to go straight to hell and never call us again?
What if it's a sobbing woman who claims to be a cousin and has a really dire situation? Sobbing, this woman is. She sounds old.
She sounds old?
Yeah.
Girl, I don't know you. You got the wrong number. Hang up. Button. See ya. Isn't it good?
It's my dream to win the lottery, and I don't play. And I feel like that's a huge obstacle to winning.
Well, I'm just putting it out there. Amy, I'm your guy if you win ever.
If I win $1 billion, you think I'm going to hang out with you?
No, my only job, you're going to pay me, of course, but my job is to tell people no for you.
Okay.
Because people are going to come out of the woodwork, as they say, and they will come to you for money.
I feel like I wouldn't trust you because I feel like you would say you're going to tell people no, and instead, behind my back, you'd be telling people yes. And
yeah, you find out that where's all my money?
You've been telling people
a
yes.
turtle farm.
You're calling people up for me. Hey, Amy wants to give you $1 million.
$20 million to a cigarette factory?
I need a no man that I haven't been married to for 20 years.
Yeah, but if you need me, anybody listening, this is my offer to you. If you need a no guy, I'm your guy. Major Garrett joins the show next on KMOX.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey guys, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I want to tell you about FanDuel Sportsbook, which, by the way, is the official sportsbook of KMOX. And today, specifically, I want to talk to baseball fans. And look, being here on KMOX, we got a lot of baseball fans listening, and you follow very closely. So if you think you know who might hit a home run today, then FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with Daily Dingers. Look, joining the action super easy. You just make your free pick on who you think's going to hit a home run in their game, and if you're right, you get a profit boost that you get to use on your next bet. You've got a lot to gain. Look, I play Daily Dingers every single day. And when I'm right, I put that profit boost to use. And it's been a big kick in the pants for me here during baseball season. So don't forget, you can do this every single day, which is what I do. And it's just another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So if you're ready to play your game today, just join the action at FanDuel.com/Missouri. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri. You get to play Daily Dingers. You get to make your free pick on who you think is going to hit a home run every single day. So play ball and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of Major League Baseball.
Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
85. Want to guess what the real feel is? 103. Humid today. Well, a lot of clouds limiting sunshine, a high of 93. Tonight, cloudy, warm, humid with isolated thunderstorms, a low of 75.
Sponsored by Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty 314-325-6888.
Need to sell your home and you want the most money? The name to remember is Gloria Lou. Yes, Gloria Lou with your home sold guaranteed realty at 314-325-6888 and start packing.
Every day starts the same way, and then it goes wherever it wants.
Life doesn't stop for Cardinals baseball. It just kind of runs alongside it. Dave Glover here from The Dave Glover Show. We're talking real life, real stuff, and yes, a lot of Cardinals along the way because that's how fans actually live it. It's just like happy hour, man. We get together every day from 1 to 5. We have fun, we laugh, we commiserate, we complain. DGS 1 to 5.
The Dave Glover Show at 1. And then Cardinals baseball.
You've pictured it, the garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 13th. Let Overhead Door Company of St. Louis upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms.
Give the gift of a magical experience at St. Louis Union Station when you take a real train ride journey to the North Pole aboard the Polar Express. Meet Santa and experience the magic of the Polar Express story with hot chocolate, treats, music, and sing-alongs. For those that truly believe in the spirit of Christmas, head down to St. Louis Union Station this year. Book your golden ticket before they sell out at stlpolarexpressride.com.
When pain starts to slow you down, BJC Healthcare and WashU Medicine orthopedic specialists are here to help. Nationally recognized leaders in orthopedics deliver care that's informed by research and personalized for you. From everyday aches to complex injuries and recovery, we're here to help you get back to doing what you love. Find an orthopedic specialist today. Visit bjc.org/orthopedics or call 314-362-9355.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones. Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Journavx suzetrigine begins. Journavx is a non-opioid 50-milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Journavx with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Journavx may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Journavx, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit journavx.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Chris and Amy now. The Dave Glover Show at 1 on the voice of St. Louis, KMOX. It's Major News with Major Garrett, our weekly conversation with CBS's chief Washington correspondent.
Every Thursday, we talk to Major Garrett around about this time, and we are joined by the chief Washington correspondent. His book is The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie, and his show on CBS News 24/7 is called The Takeout. You can watch or listen to it. Major Garrett, good morning.
Good morning. How is everybody?
We're doing okay. Were you able to escape Air Force One through the catering truck?
Of course, I was not covering that story in Ankara, Turkey. I have flown with President Trump on a risky flight, a Christmas flight from Andrews Air Force Base to Iraq, to Baghdad, arriving at night with all the runway lights out and very low visibility once we landed in Air Force One. And we were hustled very quickly under complete cloak of darkness to where the base personnel were for a surprise visit on Christmas by the president. So I've been in somewhat risky situations traveling aboard Air Force One, but that was the main plane. There were no decoy planes. Very unusual situation. And the biggest takeaway is when the Secret Service, in collaboration with the U.S. intelligence community, detects a risk, particularly in this environment, the one that the president is existing in now, it is going to take every reasonable, sensible precaution. And if it means a switcheroo, a misdirection, it's going to do that because the preeminent focus is the safety of the president, and that's what was carried out. Were people on the decoy plane unwittingly exposed to a danger? Yes, and that includes the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a lot of other White House aides, and the entire traveling press corps. That was decided by the president, the Secret Service, to be an acceptable risk. Now, we've subsequently learned in Washington Post reporting that the intelligence community had a very low level of confidence that this was actually going to happen. This was actually a kinetic threat environment, meaning there were some Iranians with possibly shoulder-fired missile capabilities close enough, but they thought the risk, all things considered, take no chances, do what you need to do. That they used an airport food container to pull all this off. I saw on CNN yesterday, surprised even the screenwriter who wrote Air Force One. Hollywood didn't even think of this. So it was pretty elaborate. And it's a crazy story on a lot of different levels. And there's one other note to this. Washington and White Houses, all White Houses I've covered, obsess over the pecking order of presidential preference. Well, now we have a pretty clear one. If you're on the decoy plane, you're way up there. If you weren't, maybe you're not.
Okay. So as you mentioned that people who were left on the original Air Force One weren't aware of the situation, but when a similar situation happened with Bill Clinton, one member of the press was made aware of the situation so that later on they would be able to have that information with them. So in your experience, having covered Washington for a very long time, do you find this highly unusual? And is it not the Secret Service job or the government's job or whatever try to kind of ensure the safety of the press and the cabinet members?
Yes. So there's a lot of questions here. And this president does not really care about the larger questions. Propriety, public right to know, exposing certain people to risk while shielding others from risk. He doesn't really care about that. It's obvious in this instance and many other instances. In Bill Clinton's case in 2000, that was a flight out of Pakistan. The nervousness, and this is pretty relevant as we approach the 25th anniversary in September of 9/11, the reason there was a decoy plane was the fear Osama bin Laden in neighboring Afghanistan might do something. So there was a decoy plane. And the president of the White House Correspondents Association, at the time Susan Page, was given an off-the-record briefing that this was going to happen. So she could be aware and could communicate in real time after the fact, after the threat had been dealt with, meaning the president had safely landed at his intended destination, the threat no longer existed, could inform the traveling White House press corps as the representative of the White House Correspondents Association as the duly elected president. That was what the Clinton administration did. So they would know and the press could be informed pretty rapidly once the situation had been deemed to be safe. What's different now is at no point was this White House ever going to tell anybody anything about this. And, of course, we have to add on the bizarreness in Ankara, Turkey, of having the Qatari gifted plane to the president also there, not part of this, because the president sent it to England, again on false pretenses, for the military personnel to take a look at it. No, the reason that he didn't fly on that plane, the new one, the gifted one, because it was retrofitted in a way that wasn't safe enough. So then they had the other Air Force One, but they didn't even use that, the one that was super safe, use a decoy plane because it was that threatening an environment. So there were just so many layers to this. And the other thing about the Clinton story in 2000, when Clinton left the decoy plane, he walked off in full public view so everyone could understand, because, again, he had landed safely in the place where he was supposed to. All threats were dealt with. There was no danger anymore. It became instantly obvious to the traveling White House press corps that something different had happened. So it was just sort of disclosed in the moment. There had been the pre-off-the-record briefing with Susan Page. So the Clinton White House brought the press corps into this. This Trump White House, which I don't need to tell people, is openly contemptuous of the press. doesn't believe it plays a vital role in covering the day-to-day operations of the president, at least in what he does and how he does it in terms of his maneuvers, was going to keep this under wraps forever if it could. But some very dogged reporting by the Washington Post and subsequently other news organizations brought this out into full public view. And again, no one is scandalized by the Secret Service taking extra precautions to protect the president. That's not it. There is no scandal. There's just a situation in which a lot of people were placed in positions that could have left them in jeopardy that they were unaware of. And there was no explanation by the White House as to why this particular maneuver happened. And so we're finding out about it piecemeal, which creates a kind of shock effect.
Major, what do we know about what's happening aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, an aircraft carrier that's been deployed? It's got some issues on the plane in terms of plumbing and food shortages, and at least one sailor has jumped off of it. And I know that there's a push in the Senate among Democrats to find out what's going on there. So what do we know?
So they're curious about reports that have now begun to surface from personnel on the USS Abraham Lincoln, first deployed in early November. These deployments are usually 7 to 8 months. It's well beyond that. There is no date for a rotation off of full service for the USS Abraham Lincoln. I've never been on an aircraft carrier in service or in a combat environment, but I know plenty of people who work at CBS who have. And remember, they're about 4,500 to 4,700, maybe sometimes 5,000 personnel on an aircraft carrier strike group. Not that many are on board the aircraft carrier itself, but it's like a small city. And to keep a small city functioning, you need lots of services, food, medical, and there are reports that these things are being stressed out. And the military protocol is you deploy these floating cities really on a maximum of 7 to 8 months because things really begin to stress out. And the stress is not only for the personnel, but for the ability to resupply it and keep things orderly and functioning at high levels become exponentially more difficult once you get beyond that 7 to 8 month deployment. And they're well beyond that now. And families want to know or get some signal from the Navy, when is this now super extended deployment going to end? When are you going to rotate them off? And they don't know. And the Navy's providing no answers, so which creates stresses for the families and it creates stresses for the personnel because they know, or they would like to know rather, when they're going to get back to port. Because getting back to port when you're deployed for so long is the way not only do you reacquaint yourself with your family, but you get a bit of breather from all the combat stresses. And most importantly, the vessel in which you serve can get fitted out in a way to put it at its maximum capability. All of those things are being stressed right now.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the USS Abraham Lincoln has set a modern-day record for consecutive days at sea, and Stars and Stripes and Navy Times, those news outlets have reported multiple attempts by crew members to jump overboard. And I read that now the USS George Washington is departing for the Middle East.
Yeah, I mean, that is as serious sort of operational tempo scenario as you can have. Service personnel, for whatever reason, falling off board or jumping off board because they've become suicidal out of either depression or stress or combat tempo. And there are lots of things that come your way in terms of combat stresses. And this has been in a hostile environment, not all of its deployment, but most of its deployment. So these things are very real. Now, the Navy has said they don't see any dramatic increase or even noticeable, numerically significant increase in suicidal ideation. And they have lots of resources on board USS Abraham Lincoln to attend to this. But when news organizations that are sort of consciously following, like Stars and Stripes does and Navy Times does, just this particular kind of issue, bring this to the surface, you know something's going on. And you know personnel are letting their families know. And through text messages and other ways, things are floating to the surface, not only literally but figuratively, about how difficult this super extended deployment has been. And what I'm kind of curious about is when are Republicans going to join Democrats to start asking some questions about this? This does not strike me as a partisan issue. It should be something anyone on a relevant committee in Congress ought to be paying attention to. Because if these personnel are being subjected to something that they can't handle and they feel like suicide is their best, or even trying to attempt suicide is their best option, something needs to be done.
We heard the reporting. Carolyn Levitt is going to be leaving the White House as the press secretary. Who do we think is going to take over for her?
I have no idea. The briefing tempo has been pretty low, even since Caroline Levitt returned from her extended paternity leave. And so I'm not sure how much the White House is really going to orient itself, especially between now and the midterms, to a briefing schedule that would even resemble the every other day or maybe once or twice a week tempo that Caroline Levitt had. What the president likes to do and what this White House sort of falls back on is the president will have one event a day, bring in the press, take like 15 to 20 questions, and that basically covers the space of a White House press briefing. And look, as a White House correspondent for many, many years, I always said I'd much rather hear from the president than the press secretary. The president's the principal. The president is the one who makes all the decisions. Everything flows through that desk and that office. So if we hear from the president every other day or every day, what do you need a press secretary for? That's sort of been Trump's approach to this all along. So I'm not sure there's going to be a rapid naming of a new press secretary. But if there is, I don't expect the tempo of briefings to be certainly any more frequent than they were in Caroline Levitt's tenure, probably less frequent. So I think President now wants to be the main communication voice for the White House, at least through the midterms, and no intermediaries.
Well, we hope it's you. We hope you get to take over.
What if it's Tony over at CBS and then Major takes Tony's spot?
Oh.
I think we could do something like that.
Yeah, whatever.
God, you guys really are trying to get me in trouble. You really are trying to get me in trouble.
No, we're advocating for you. We are your biggest fans.
So I will tell you a quick story. I will tell you a very quick story. Very, very quick story. So when I left Fox and I went to National Journal, there was a period of time where there was questions in the Obama White House who the next press secretary was going to be. Jay Carney had left. And the Washington Post wrote a story, and I was just moving over to National Journal, that listed me as one of the possible press secretaries for President Obama, okay? It had no basis in fact whatsoever. But my name did appear in the Washington Post, and my editor at the National Journal called me up frantically to find out if it was true. And because I'm such a terrible negotiator, I should have said, well, it might be true. I don't know. Maybe you can throw a little more money on the table. We'll see what happens, you know? No. I said, no, it's not true. Don't worry. Oh, good.
I would never leave you.
I'll get on with my tennis match on a Saturday. I'm such a terrible negotiator. I couldn't even do anything on my own behalf.
You could be a billionaire right now.
Oh, man.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I could have extracted at least maybe 50 or 60, 70 more bucks a week. Who knows?
Well, Major, we are sorry, but things worked out nicely for you. And
I landed okay, I suppose.
You'll always be press secretary in our hearts.
That's right. Thanks, Major.
Can you imagine that? Major Garrett, press secretary for President Obama? Come on.
That's
you'd have been
pretty
great.
fancy.
What are you talking about?
That's a fancy title.
There you go. There's the story for the day.
I love it.
As always, we appreciate you. Talk to you next week.
Talk next week.
Major Garrett. His book is The Big Truth, Upholding Democracy in the Age of the Big Lie. And you should listen to or watch his show, The Takeout, on CBS News 24/7. And if you are looking to get a little more action out of today's MLB slate, well, there's a great way to do it. Now, the Cardinals are off, but that's okay. They'll be back at it tomorrow. But FanDuel has you covered anyway. Go to the FanDuel app now and claim a profit boost to use on any bet type for today's games. That's any bet type. So money lines, totals, homers, player props, however you like to play. Very easy. You just have to tap Claim Now, grab your token, and apply it to your bet before you place it. Maybe you're backing your team to win. Well, Cardinals, not today, but maybe tomorrow. Maybe you like the over for one game. Maybe you're calling your shot and picking someone to go deep. Whatever it is you're feeling, use your boost to get more out of your bet today. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. As I've been telling you, FanDuel is your home for home runs. Plenty of good baseball is happening today. Must be 21 or over and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
I'm Tom Ackerman with this month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight. We are talking to Dr. Premal Thacker.
How to cope with such a diagnosis that can be very supportive for you through your journey of cancer. And additionally, we have social workers as well. So we're very fortunate at Siteman Cancer Center to have such a in-depth team to take care of you as you embark on this, hard time in your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.washu.edu.
Soldiers Memorial Military Museum looks at American military history through the lens of St. Louis. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, the galleries showcase stories of local service members and delve into the city's wartime history. Outside, the Court of Honors includes monuments to those who lost their lives in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Admission is free. Find information about special exhibits at mohistory.org/memorial. That's mohistory.org/memorial.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this ad for your morning commute to wake you up, which could help your driving. Science says that stimulating the brain increases alertness. So here's a pop quiz. How many months have 28 days? What gets wetter as it dries? What has keys but can't open locks? If you don't want to hear the answers, turn off this Liberty Mutual ad now. 12 months, a towel, piano. Enjoy being fully alert.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
John's Garage Doors, John's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
I started my first business at 12 years old, mowing lawns for about $5 a yard. I thought I was crushing it until my buddy down the street undercut me by $2. But he didn't just cut the price, he cut corners too. That's when I learned if you do the job right, people trust you and integrity beats profit. People care more about how you show up and whether you do what you say you're gonna do. Hi, I'm Tommy Mello, owner of Don's Garage Doors. From garage door repairs to upgrades, we show up, we crush it, and we stand behind every job. We only use the best parts, and the spring's guaranteed to last a lifetime. Because when you care about the people you serve, you work harder and it shows. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Doors today or schedule online at donsgaragedoors.com. And yeah, we still beat the other guy.
John's Garage Doors, John's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
Get inside your Redbirds in the 2026 season every Tuesday at noon. It's All Access with Cardinals manager Ollie Marmol on your voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
All right, your text messages at 314-436-7900 as I have offered to be the Quincy multimillionaires no guy.
That's right.
Because the $1 billion Powerball jackpot was sold at a Hy-Vee in Quincy, Illinois, a couple hours away.
Just past Hannibal. It's just past
about
Hannibal.
A half hour past. There was a texter who says that I need to charge because I told you, Amy, if you won that I would do it for you, but you have to pay me. Of course, I'm not doing this for free. I mean, come on,
not a charity.
not for anybody. No. So the whole point is if somebody wants money from you, you direct them to me, and I will tell that person no for you, so you don't have to be uncomfortable and do it for yourself. I think that's a great service. So this texter says that I need to charge 1% of all requests denied. I can't just work on a flat fee because I would be leaving money on a table.
That's actually a really good idea.
And so I said, should it be 1% of the whole jackpot? Which is unreasonable because that's like, I think, $4.5 million or something.
Well, I was wrong and you were right. Apparently, if you take the lump sum, it's $450 million pre-tax. Post-tax is $246 million.
So the texter says that 1% of the total ask, but I should cap it at $500 per ask.
I don't think. What about cap it at 1,000?
I think 1,000. Yeah.
I'd cap it at 1,000.
Yeah. So up to $1,000, I will tell people no for you. That's a great deal.
And after 10 asks in a day, the cap goes to 1,500 because now you're more fatigued.
I am so tired.
You've said no 10 times.
I'm so tired. I can't do it. When we come back, Dr. Michael Burgess will join us, a former Republican congressman from Texas and a physician, about the new executive order on vaccines and what it means. And you'll want to listen in. That's next on KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Hey, this is Kevin Wheeler, and I want to tell you about Burn Balance Complex, which you can pick up at Supplement Superstores, and you can find a location at supplementsuperstores.com. Look, Burn Balance Complex is different, okay? It's a game changer. It is a complete, all-natural metabolism system. It's not just a fat burner. If you're someone that doesn't want to get a prescription, if you don't want to go get injections, Burn Balance Complex can get your metabolism rocking the way that it's supposed to, and you notice it really early on because you start to notice clothes are fitting a little differently. You're seeing results, which then kind of gives you motivation to keep on going, right? Well, on top of the metabolism boost, you're also going to notice reduced stress with lower cortisol levels, appetite and craving control, which is absolutely critical to staying on a plan, plus all-day focused energy, no jitters, no crash at the end of the day. And look, it's not magic. You got to do the work, but Burn Balance Complex has made that work so much easier for me. It'll do the same for you. So get out to Supplement Superstores. Tell them Kevin Wheeler sent you in. They'll knock 30% off right then and there. And you can find your location at supplementsuperstores.com.
Sprained wrist, ankle twist, broken thumb, can't make a fist, busted knee, surgery, that patch of ice you didn't see.
Where pain starts, Jernavix suzetrigine begins. Jernavix is a non-opioid 50 milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain.
Tendon tear, nose repair, tripping on that broken stair, dislocation, operation, moped crash while on vacation.
Do not take Jernavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jernavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes.
Joint displacement, knee replacement, fell on marbles in the basement, bladder slip, broken hip, that rock climb where you lost your grip.
To learn more about Jernavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jernavix.com.
St. Louis isn't just where we play, it's who we are. When the Cardinals take on the Pirates on Friday, August 28th, fans 21 and older can take home an exclusive City Connect quarter zip pullover presented by Budweiser. Inspired by the city we love, this new addition to the City Connect collection is the perfect way to show off your Cardinals pride. Available in medium and extra large while supplies last. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Alec Burleson. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com.
The hottest accessory at Busch Stadium this season is yours on Saturday, August 29th when the Cardinals host the Pirates. That day, fans will take home a stylish, stadium-approved Cardinals purse, courtesy of Edward Jones. From the ballpark to brunch, this is the on-the-go purse you'll be reaching for all season long. And there's only one place to get it, at Busch Stadium on August 29th. Get your tickets now at cardinals.com/promotions.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
It is 11. We've got mostly clouds right now in downtown St. Louis and 88 degrees. I'm Debbie Monterey. Iran and the U.S. no closer to negotiating for the full reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Iran's foreign minister said the U.S. is miscalculating its strategy. This as the president claims that the strait is fully reopened. Here's ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
We did not hear about Iran from the president yesterday, but an Iranian agency newly created to deal with maritime traffic in the strait issued a statement yesterday. It reads, quote, claims and repeated posts by U.S. officials that the Strait of Hormuz is no longer blocked do not change the reality. The statement from Iran goes on to say, the Strait of Hormuz remains blocked and will not be reopened until Iran's conditions are accepted.
Reports that sailors on board the USS Abraham Lincoln are dealing with dwindling essentials, even thoughts of suicide as their time in the Mideast stretches well past a typical deployment. Family members have told the Military Times some sailors have tried to jump overboard. The Navy, in a statement to ABC News, denies those reports of suicide attempts, but said supplies are running low and they are working to address the issues. ABC News contributor Mick Mulroy says the sailors on board haven't stopped at port for some time.
It really set a record for continuous days at sea, so without a port call. And that causes a lot of the issues, of course, because supplies run very short and days become essentially continuous. But it's important also to point out that this crew has done an exceptional job at carrying out the mission.
A lucky Powerball winner is $1 billion richer today. The ticket for the jackpot prize was sold at a gas station in Quincy. Although the winner or winners have not yet come forward, John Marshall is the manager of the Fast and Fresh where the ticket was sold and says it's an exciting time for the Quincy community.
It can happen anywhere now. I always been harassing customers to tell them it happens everywhere else, but it can happen here too. So it's kind of a great story I've been telling for 3 years in this position. So I mean, it's a story we usually tell when it always gets up to a high jackpot. Oh, it's not going to be our store or whatever, but it happens. It can happen to a little Quincy, Illinois Fast and Fresh here.
That Fast and Fresh location gets a $500,000 bonus for selling the winning ticket. Both the Missouri State Fair and the Illinois State Fair open today through August 23rd. Yesterday, the Illinois Butter Cow was unveiled in Springfield. It features a cow, a girl eating ice cream, a dog on a scooter heading out on Route 66. Of course, the Butter Cow is going to be refrigerated in this heat.
An extreme heat warning through 9 p.m. Saturday. This afternoon will be partly sunny, hot and humid, the high 94. Partly cloudy, warm and very humid tonight. There can be a thunderstorm in the area, the low 79. More sun than clouds, quite hot and humid tomorrow, high 98. More the same Saturday. Mostly sunny, very hot and humid, high 99. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is mostly cloudy and 88 degrees right now. The weather is sponsored for you by McKelvey Homes. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
Looking for your forever home? Discover The Reserve by McKelvey Homes in Wildwood. Enjoy beautiful new homes, scenic walking trails, parks, a community fire pit, and top-rated Rockwood schools. All surrounded by the natural beauty of West County. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX. There's been a lot of discussion about vaccines over the last couple of weeks, especially after an executive order by the president alters how the vaccines are scheduled, or at least recommended for children. And to talk about that with us is former congressman out of the state of Texas, a Republican. Dr. Michael Burgess is with us on KMOX. Dr. Burgess, good to have you with us. How are you?
I'm well, Chris. Chris, I hope you're well as well.
Yeah, we're doing great here. And so I'm really curious about this because there has been sort of an assault on vaccines with this particular administration, which is interesting considering the maybe the most famous vaccine over the last 5 years was implemented by this president. And now with this new executive order, it kind of puts everything in limbo. So where are we right now, and what do you think of that order?
Well, first off, we're not in limbo. As a practical matter, not much changes right now, and it is interesting. We're just right ahead of the start of a new school year, and parents are trying to assemble all the things they need to get their little ones off to school. And one of those things is an immunization schedule or a card that school districts generally require that a child have several vaccines before attending public schools. And actually not a bad idea, because you don't want to send your kid to school and then have them come down with a disease that could just as well have been prevented. So not much is going to change immediately. It continues the discussion about what is right and correct going forward. But here's the thing, and a lot of people forget this, the federal government actually does not tell anyone to get anything. Now, it makes recommendations, and the Vaccine for Children program, which pays for a lot of stuff, works off of federal recommendations at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. But the federal government itself does not mandate any shots. To me, one of the interesting things about the executive order was also not so much from Health and Human Services, but Department of Justice is now to talk to the states about what their vaccine schedules are. But this has always been a state-determined activity, and that's what people forget. And that's correct, because different states have different concerns, and different states may do things different ways. For example, Florida earlier this year just abandoned the entire vaccine schedule for children in their schools. We'll see how Florida does. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? The other states will be able to evaluate their own programs based upon the data they collect from other states that are doing things differently. I guess the one thing that just really concerned me about the whole news conference was the statement was made, nothing bad will happen or what could go wrong. I mean, don't tempt fate. There is a lot of bad things that could happen or things that could go wrong. And we've had a pretty good success story with childhood vaccinations in this country. And a lot of us who've worked in the healthcare field really wonder if there is a reason why we should abandon it now. What is the compelling new evidence that the secretary has? What is the new data? He said he was going to investigate this, have gold standard science. We need to see it. The people need to see it. Doctors, patients need to see it. So I'd say that's, just to sum things up, that's where I am on this.
I've been, I don't know if it's surprised or dismayed by the broad brushstrokes being used when people are speaking out against vaccines. For instance, I totally understand and understood hesitancy initially towards the COVID vaccine at first, right? Because it was a new vaccine. So maybe if people were uncertain about it, I totally get that. But then to see pushback against the MMR, which we've used for decades, which has, saved so many kids from measles, for instance, which is highly contagious. Like, how do you make that jump where all of a sudden people don't want to get a vaccine that's been used successfully for decades on decades?
Well, that controversy is not the right word, but that discussion has been going on in the background really since sometime in the 80s or 90s. There have been people who've said this is not a good idea, but then on the other hand, study after study after study has failed to identify a problem. And I'll just say this. I mean, I practiced medicine for a number of years. I'm an obstetrician. I delivered a number of babies. 2 generations of doctors have not had to worry about congenital rubella, which is one of the diseases that's protected against in the MMR vaccine. A mom who gets German measles, 3-day measles, rubella during her pregnancy, that child that she's carrying is put at significant risk for lifelong problems. It's not just problems a few days around delivery. These are lifelong problems that the child may have, or the child likely will not survive as long. So this is a big problem, or was a big problem back in the 1960s. It's disappeared with the MMR because no one gets rubella during pregnancy any longer, because no one gets rubella anywhere. And for me, that is one of the things when people say, well, what could go wrong? That's one of the things that could go wrong. And you don't want to necessarily just discard that unless you have some rock solid gold standard science that says, here is a problem. This is a difficulty that we're trying to correct.
Dr. Michael Burgess is with us on KMOX, and one of the claims that's been made, and I think one of the most prominent people who's made that claim is the director of health now, RFK Jr., who says there is a link between some of these vaccines and autism, and that's been echoed by the administration. And there's really no evidence of that, is there?
No. Again, if there's a new blockbuster study that the rest of us haven't seen, I wish they'd share it with us. But that's correct. And there've been a number of studies, and most recently the one that's quoted is the the Danish study because they have such the ability to track patients and over long periods of time because of their national health system. And they did a retrospective look through their data, and no change, no increased incidence was detected. And that was a pretty large study that was conducted. So these are the things that are troublesome. Yes, you're right. There was a pre-existing condition, if you will, an agenda that people carried forward into this administration, and the secretary is one of those. And although 2 weeks ago on one of the Sunday shows with Dana Bash, the secretary said, no, MMR is good, you should get the MMR, his history has actually spoken differently.
You know, you mentioned about states. This is that these are not federal mandates, that they make recommendations, but ultimately vaccines and schedules are up to the states. What happens if more and more states like Florida start abandoning vaccines because we have such an interconnected country?
That's correct. And first off, let's be very, very clear. And I'm not sure about this, but I think even in Florida, the vaccines are still available. If mom and dad says, I want my child protected, I don't want to send him into public school, which could be a cauldron of illness. I don't want to send him in there with an immune system that's not prepared to deal with that. I suspect they're still able to access the availability of those immunizations, and I would expect that would be the case literally nationwide. The CDC recommendations do affect the Vaccines for Children program and do affect some of the insurance coverages. That, at present, my understanding is not going to change. And so there's a possibility there will be some differences down the road, but I mean, look, we're coming up on a school year, and moms and dads are trying to figure out the best way to get their child prepared for that first day of school. And right now, the best way is still comply with the immunization schedule that your school requires.
Dr. Michael Burgess is with us on KMOX. I think one of the challenging things that happened during COVID was the confusion around the vaccine, and therefore the reluctance by a lot of people to get vaccinated as a result of that. And there's also the knowledge that vaccines, and it seems like a lot of people don't quite understand that the more people get vaccinated, the more successful a vaccine is. This is an idea that seems to escape a lot of people. Why is it so challenging to get people to understand that?
Yeah, that's pretty low on the list of reasons why someone would seek to get vaccinated. And when you talk about the COVID years, and my gosh, don't get me started. I mean, I was in Congress during that time, and it was pretty frightening, to be perfectly honest, about no one knew how this was going to work out and what was going to happen. And big credit to the first Trump administration for recognizing the difficulty that they were up against and fast tracking an ability to protect people from the illness. And they did that. Some politics entered into it right at the end, and people were able to hold up the approval until the week after Election Day. Tell me that wasn't political. But it was a gift that the first Trump administration was able to provide. They cut through a lot of the duplication of red tape and got this approved, and told the companies that they would guarantee payment whether or not a vaccine was ever administered. They would be reimbursed for the vaccine that they produced. So that was a phenomenal change. Now, unfortunately, Trump was not there in his for the second term right away, and the Biden administration then managed to garble everything up. And Xavier Becerra, who was the head of Secretary of HHS in the Biden administration, these were the people that got out there and said, you must take these shots. I mean, it was voluntary, and then suddenly it wasn't. And so you heard all the stories, people in the military, people who were employed, particularly in healthcare facilities, were required now to take these shots, and they just weren't sure. And like any new medicine or something that's offered, maybe you don't want to be the first one. You don't want to be the test case. Now, I was different. I was in an age group that was at risk. I have underlying health conditions that put me at risk. I could not wait to get those first vaccinations, and tell you the truth, felt a little guilty about it that I was getting it prior to some other people. But at the same time, there were people who were hesitant. I live in a part of the world where vaccine hesitancy is really, even before COVID, people tended to be vaccine hesitant. And so the problems that occurred during COVID, the missteps of the Biden administration and the Biden CDC and the Biden Department of HHS, these really amplified the problems. And now, of course, we're not talking about COVID vaccine with childhood vaccines, but it all kind of got lumped into one category.
I might disagree on who is responsible for the hesitancy, but to that point now, there is hesitancy, and it's not just with the COVID vaccine, it's with measles and all these other ones that we've had forever and ever. And the point I made earlier, that the more people get vaccinated, the more successful vaccines are, the more they work. That's a thing that we've known that for a long time. So how do you now combat that with people who are now skeptical of every vaccine that they might get? And with these new recommendations, since they are just recommendations and they're not mandatory, people might just say, well, I'm not going to do it. And so doesn't that then put other people at risk?
A short answer is yes. And to the earlier question that I posed, well, nothing bad will happen or what could go wrong, put that in the category of one of the things that could go wrong. And let me just say this. Parents should not rely upon government agencies or political figures to give them medical advice for their children. They should talk to their doctor. Their doctor is the best source of information. And that was my admonition during the COVID years. Prior to the COVID years, talk to your doctor, because your doctor, after all, has your best interest at heart, and your doctor is going to be the one who gets called upon if something goes wrong, if a child does get measles, mumps, or rubella during school. And here's the thing, and this is what your point is an excellent one. So there's less total immunity in the community, and so the likelihood of being exposed is going to increase. So I no longer have small children at home, but if I did, it would be another incentive for me to get that child protected, because you don't know what the immunization status is of all the other kids that are in that class.
What percentage, because right now we know that overall 89% of Americans know that believe that vaccines are necessary and helpful to keeping everyone healthy. But what percentage of unvaccinated kids or people does it take to really start to cause a problem like we've seen with measles?
Well, the figures with measles that you see is that 95 or 97% vaccinated is pretty much going to control it in the population. And unfortunately, you're seeing numbers dip not just slightly below that, but far below that. So it does become an issue. And, I hate to give parents one more thing to be concerned about, but that is one of the things that if you're sending your child to public school or to parochial school, they're going to be exposed to other kids. And those other kids, if they're not protected, may be carriers. So make sure your kid is protected. That's the easy answer to that. The larger immunity question is one that public health officials can worry about. But on a family basis, make sure your child is protected. But talk to your doctor. Make sure that it's correct and it's indicated for your child.
Dr. Michael Burgess, great conversation. We appreciate you jumping on the show with us today. Thank you.
Good deal. Thank you, Chris and Amy. Anytime.
That is Dr. Michael Burgess, a physician and former Republican congressman out of Texas, joining us here on the Chris and Amy Show on KMOX.
For all station contest rules, go to KMOX.com/rules.
For decades, Morgan & Morgan has represented hundreds of thousands of people at their hour of need. Injuries on the job, car crashes, medical malpractice, and nursing home abuse, Social Security claims, dangerous drugs, and dangerous products. We became America's largest injury firm for a reason, and no firm is even close. Then we got to thinking, what if we could prevent these terrible events before they occurred? So we built the AI-powered People Protector. Simply visit peopleprotector.com and type in the product you have questions about before you buy it. Children's toys and accessories, cars, drugs, products. You name it, we got it. With our success, we decided to pay it forward for all of America. Our way of saying thank you for your trust all these years. Morgan & Morgan, protecting America. And if you've already been injured, just visit us at forthepeople.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Past results afford no guarantee of future results. Every case is different and must be judged on its own merits.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/radio. That's legacybox.com/radio.
Right now, inflation is squeezing your budget. Global events are shaking markets overnight, and if you're close to retirement, you don't get unlimited do-overs. That's why Steve All and the team at the All Financial Group are hosting Retirement Simplified. Find out if your retirement strategy can survive today's economy. Rising costs, market volatility, political uncertainty, and the questions most people avoid. Could you outlive your money? When should you file for Social Security? Is your 401k carrying too much risk? These aren't hypothetical concerns. They're happening right now. Retirement Simplified, August 27th and September 1st. It is complimentary and you must qualify to attend. Call now 636-230-8824 or visit yourmoneymattersstl.com. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions. All Financial Group is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Let's hope you never need a personal injury lawyer, but if you do, know who to call before you need one. Mark Cantor and the team at Cantor Injury Law have been helping injured Missourians for over 30 years. Give them a call at 314-628-9999 or visit CantorInjuryLaw.com. Injured, you can count on Cantor.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Guys, Kevin Wheeler here for FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of KMOX. And yes, I like to brag that my official sportsbook has been FanDuel long before it came online here in Missouri. I go back years. It's a phenomenal app. Works easy. You get paid right away. And I can't recommend it enough. Now, if you're out there at the beginning of this WNBA season here, and if you're looking for a W, then FanDuel Sportsbook is the place for you to go get it. Because with same-game parlays, you can build your bet your way. You just pick your players, your props, you stack it all into one play, and then from big performance on an individual basis to game-changing moments, you're in control of how you play it and what you do. So whether you're backing your favorites or just calling shots, look, FanDuel makes every game feel bigger, and this season for all of us, it's not just about watching, it's about going out and getting that W. So visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get started. FanDuel is not only the official sportsbook of KMOX, it's also the official sportsbook of the WNBA. Just remember, you have to be 21 or older and present in Missouri to play. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yesterday, today, and tomorrow. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Chris and Amy show on KMOX. Go ahead and text in at 314-436-7900. Texter thinks my head is going to explode because our guests praised the president for rolling out the vaccines. No, I've actually said that
You brought it up.
That was one good thing that he did. He got the vaccines rolling in a really bad time. He took credit for it for a while until he realized that his base didn't like it. I think that was the only time I ever heard him get booed.
You know what? That's a good point. I remember it. Yep,
March of 2021, and he was talking about how great the vaccine is. And there was it. I don't know if it was a rally, but it was he was addressing a crowd, and they kind of booed a little bit.
They did boo.
That was the only time I've ever heard that.
Because as Dr. Burgess pointed out, Operation Warp Speed, the name of it, that was under the Donald Trump administration, Donald Trump 1.0, and they really did cut through a lot of red tape and bureaucratic obstacles to get that vaccine out quickly, and then it became politicized.
The thing is, we could we can do stuff like that. We can get a vaccine out quickly, or a monumental task can be done if everybody pours their resources into it at once. And that's what happened. The entire medical community, that was the only thing they were working on. So, yeah, if you do that, you can get it done quickly.
You know, what's interesting, too, is you can take for granted the availability of these vaccines because we have them here in the United States, and there are developing countries where they don't have these. And so you have severe illness and disease that just it completely devastates, communities and families. And that's why when you do have people coming here, maybe seeking asylum, immigration, a big part of that process, and also why legal immigration is important, is going through the steps for vaccine.
That's why you got to make the process more streamlined.
Clear. It needs to be clear. Yeah.
And streamlined. I mean, you have to have more people working on immigration, and we don't have enough judges, for example.
We spoke to a couple of girls from Afghanistan who were on the Taliban kill list because one was a business owner, which the Taliban doesn't let women speak or laugh or sing in public. And another was a skier. And so these two girls who were teenagers and then early 20s were on the Taliban kill list. They were able to escape with the help of a retired Marine right here in St. Louis, came to St. Louis. And one thing that that I didn't think about, right? If you think of how difficult it is to escape from the Taliban and to not speak the language and have to connect with people and learn English and go through this process, is the first few days they had to get all of their vaccines. Yeah. And they said that was a little rough, getting the vaccines and just kind of if you have side effects or whatever, but also grateful that they were able to then get that protection.
Also, a texter from a 618 says, shout out to the lottery winner. I will be the person who says no to Ranji. No. I'm not asking for money.
The double no. I didn't think about that.
I'm not asking for money from. Does this person think? Are they thinking that I'm going to ask?
Wait, hold on.
The new billionaire for money? No, I'm offering to be that person's no person.
But maybe, trust no one.
I would get great delight in telling people, I'm sorry, you can't have any of my clients' money.
Yeah, but what if, for some reason, you ask for money?
I wouldn't. I'd be getting paid every time. I would be sending an invoice every month.
What if he's saying no to the invoice?
Well, you can't do that because then I'll sue you. We had an agreement. I worked for you. I provided a service. Now pay me my money. This is not me asking for a handout. This is me asking for the money for
that was contractually
the job,
agreed
the
upon.
work that correct.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Be one of those people who doesn't pay contractors?
Well, you're not going to get anywhere with that.
Well, you can run for president and maybe win. I'm not naming any names. I'm just saying it does happen.
We have limited the selection pool, though.
It's the Chris and Amy Show. The Gas House Gang happens at 12 o'clock. Bernie Miklasz and me. We will talk to J.J. Cooper from Baseball America, which is a publication, been around for a long time, and they really deeply analyze minor leagues. They have named the Cardinals minor league system, updated as of August, second best in baseball. So that is
huge jump
That's great.
From us feeling decimated.
That's right. So we'll talk to J.J. Cooper about that. That's at 12:30. Gas House Gang at noon. Amy and I until then on KMOX.
The original Gas House Gang was loud, scrappy, unshaven, and impossible to ignore.
Typical Gas House Gang baseball.
The KMOX version, still loud, still scrappy, better shaving habits, and still impossible to ignore. Ackerman, Ranji, Claves, and Miklasz. The Gas House Gang, weekdays at noon on your home of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM KMOX. Now, KMOX weather from the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk.
88. Everyone guess what the real feel is. 108. A high today of 93, mostly cloudy, warm, very
108.
humid. Thunderstorms in the area. A low tonight of 75.
What,
Weather
is it in
sponsored.
Quincy, the area? Quincy?
Could be.
Okay.
Could be. The weather is sponsored by SNL Coins.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at Amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friend Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. Stewie, I think this is going to be a strange season for real estate. Just kind of feel it in my gut. What can people do apropos of their mortgage to put themselves in a better position to get that house?
You know what, Dave, that's a great question. There's a bidding wars that are going to happen this spring. You want to get the house. This is how you're going to make things better. Number one, we give you the power of the pre-approval letter. That means you can go into our portal and generate the letter and edit it for any amount you want up to the amount you're approved without chasing the loan officer. Number two, the bagel loan. No closing costs, no title fees, no lender fees, no appraisal fees. It's a bagel. Bagel looks like a zero, easy to remember. Add that money you would normally pay onto your bid and beat the other offers out. And you know what? The third thing is we can close fast. 10 days. They're going to look away at the other offers because most lenders take as much as 30 days to get done.
You can call or text Stewie at his personal cell phone, 314-324-4440, or you can Google the bagel loan, NMLS 226715.
Don's Garage Doors has been serving families since 1998, and now we're bringing that same great experience to the Lou. We take pride in having a neighbor-first approach to doing business with local technicians who are your neighbors. Don's Garage Doors is new to the area, but we're not new to working extra hard to earn customer trust, one garage door at a time. From repairs to upgrades, call Don's Garage Doors.
Don's Garage Doors, Don's Garage Doors. When it comes to garage doors, no one knows more.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
There is a clarification.
Okay.
That person was saying that the texter, 314-436-7900 text in, they were saying that they would be the person who tells me no to being the no person for the billionaire. They just wanted to reject
the no
me.
Guy.
Yes, they are offering their services to the new Powerball winner to tell me no, I can't have that job. And I don't think they have to do that because I have just thrown it out there. They can ignore me. All I'm saying is I will do it for a 1% per ask fee.
Up to 10 asks, and then it
capped at $1,500 per day.
Really?
Right?
That seems low.
$1,500 per day?
It does. I think at first, you're going to have an influx of asks.
Yeah.
And so I don't think you should cap it
That's a good
until
point.
the first 2 months or something.
Okay, so no cap first 2
Because
months.
you're going to be tired.
You're right.
You're going to be fatigued and saying this was only worth $1,500.
Yep. Okay, good point. I'll rework it.
Okay. I have a fact. It's not a fun fact. Well, it's a fun fact. It's an interesting fact. Kind of like the whole like John Tyler still has a living grandson type thing. Okay. The transition from Franklin Pierce, president, to James Buchanan, president, on March 4th, 1857. It is the last time that a living Democratic president completed his term and handed off the presidency to another Democratic president. Living. 1857. So several Democratic presidents have been succeeded by members of the opposing party, or Democratic presidents. It was like a death or an assassination that led to another Democratic president. But the Pierce to Buchanan transition is the only time in the past 170 years-ish that you've had a living Democratic president hand off to another living Democrat. And I'm going through, I'm like, oh my gosh, I think that's right. I did do a little double checking, and it is right.
Yeah, and I guess we've done it several times with Republicans.
Yes.
Right? So Reagan to Bush was the most recent.
Yeah, Reagan to Bush. But 1857 was the last time a living Democrat had the peaceful transfer of power to another Democrat.
Does Nixon to Ford count? Because
Well, Nixon was a Republican.
Right. So I'm saying, does that count of handing it off because he quit?
No, I don't think so, because I think this is like you complete the term. When was the last time, right, a Democratic president completed a term and handed off to another Democratic president? And that was 1857.
Okay.
And obviously the last time for a Republican would have been Reagan to Bush.
Yep. Oh, wow.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because we're a
young country, though, too.
We are so fickle. It's whoever's in office at the time, we go with the next guy. We go with the next person.
Because you're
the
always
other party.
You're always going to have grievances.
Yeah,
and then you're
going to
point your finger at the grievance.
Yeah, always.
Okay, I have a question for our texters. 314-436-7900. Because this surprised me. I was running the other day with some younger folks, and apparently, for people who are maybe in their 20s now, late 20s now, sharing your location, like your iPhone location, with your friends really started in high school, where it was a big thing, where all the friends would share their locations with each other. And now, people in their 20s and 30s, they share their locations with parents and siblings, so other adults. And I did not realize this was such a widespread thing.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I kind of did with college students. I know that there are a lot of parents who will say, well, yeah, like I'll ask them to share a location with me if they're going away for the first time. Okay. But I had never done that. I think the first time I shared a location with anyone was in 2022 when I was hiking in the Alps, and they pretty much have Wi-Fi in the Alps. It's not like the mountains out here. And I thought, you know what? If you're climbing mountains, it's probably a good idea for someone to know where you are. So I shared a location with a family member. And that was the first time I'd ever done that. Maybe that was 2023. Sorry.
Yeah, I've never done it. I don't do it permanently. Or I wouldn't. I'm saying this now on August 13th of 2026 that I'm never going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I won't change my mind about it down the road, but I have no desire to permanently share my location with somebody where they can, anytime they want, they could pick up the phone and see where I'm at. I don't want that. Now, there can be certain examples where, hey, I'm going to be in this place for the next couple of hours just to make sure nothing goes wrong. I mean, I don't know.
A drug deal or something?
Not like I'm doing a bag drop or something, but I can see doing that. But I know a lot of people who are my age and maybe just a bit younger than me who do this, who share location. And I know people older than me who do it too. I wouldn't say it's a majority. It's probably like 20% of the people I know.
Yeah, and I don't even, I mean, I don't know how to put a number on it. I do feel like it leans younger. I would say like if I were married, I would share my location with my spouse. Like I would share my location with my husband if I were married. And I would actually feel safer. Like, oh yeah, I like knowing he knows where I am or whatever. So it would be more of that. And I'm sure it would be mutual. But that's the only time I would think of sharing my location. I didn't really think of it as a widespread thing until you start talking to people. And it's 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds. A lot of them share their location with their parents.
Yeah.
Family. And I would say, okay, family members, that's one thing. But for friends, Matt, you said you have friends where they share their location with each other.
Yeah. And
yeah, I know.
That's
I know
so
that
weird.
too. Yep.
Really? You do too? At our age?
Yep.
I think it's weird.
That's weird.
Or if people are coming over to my apartment or whatever, they'll send their location so I can track them as they're driving over. Like I just don't care. I don't. Oh, where is he? He hasn't. He said he'd be here at 5:00 and it's 5:10. What's wrong? Like I better check his location to see if he's on his way. Like I just don't think that way. They'll send. If you have an iPhone, if you type in directions, you can then share that. You can share your route with other people. So if I'm going to Amy's house, I can share. Oh, while I'm going to Amy's house, I can share my location with her, so she knows my ETA. And my friends will do that. And I think it's just kind of goofy because I don't really care.
Yeah.
I'm not going to track you. I'm not going to sit on the phone and
But
watch.
also, do you want your friend? Like, I mean, you know me. I'm a prude. I don't do anything fun. I don't like knowing people are following. I wouldn't want people following my location, especially not my friends.
As an adult, here's what it's good for. If you've got one of these idiots in your friend group, it's like, oh, I'm on the way, I'm leaving, and you can pick it up. Like, no, you're not. you've been at home for 20 minutes. You said you left 10 minutes ago.
But I don't care. I don't. Then that's his problem.
If you're relying on that's everybody's problem. Because what are you trying to leave? Like you're trying to, hey, you arrive and then we all go together to the next thing. We have to wait on you.
See,
you know
that's
what
where
I mean?
I think that's where maybe I'm a little bit cold-hearted. I leave. Like our deal was, we're leaving at 5:30, and if you're not here, you can't screw over the whole group. And maybe that's from running, because with running, morning minutes are precious. So if we leave at 5:30, there's no. Like you're 5:31, 5:33. I mean, we're on our way. I'm not wasting time waiting for people. So maybe I'm just mean because I leave. I'm not waiting for people.
Although I will tell you, and we have had this discussion before, but it's worth bringing up again. One of the things in life that I dislike the most, of unimportant things in life that I dislike the most, is when you have ordered food and it's being delivered. Uber Eats, whatever app you're using, and they give you a tracker. So there's a GPS on the phone of the person who's delivering your food, and you can look at the map and see in real time where they are and if they're on the way to you. I mean, I will tell you that probably 30% of the time I will look at that map, see where they are, and they'll get to a certain spot, and then it will stop moving.
Yeah.
And they're there for 15 minutes, and you go, what is going on? Why are they there? Yeah. Or they'll get to me, like what happened before. I think I've told you this story, where I had delivered food, and I was being really lazy one day, and I had ordered a delivery from Thai 202 in Central West End, really good place. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I'm not going to go walk to get it. It's like 2 blocks. I'm like, I don't feel like it. And so it was being delivered, and I'm looking at the map, and I see it get picked up, and it's on the way to me, and then I see it sitting out front of my building. The car is sitting out front of my building. I'm like, all right, well, any minute now, I'm going to get a call or whatever. And then it sits there for about 5 minutes, and then I see it drive away. And I go, oh, well, they must have dropped it off, so I go down. It wasn't there. But the map is not showing delivered. It's showing this guy's progress, and he's driving away. He gets on the highway. He keeps going down the highway. He goes to a different neighborhood. And I'm like, where is this person going? Because the food wasn't delivered.
Did you ever get it?
So I can't remember if I called or messaged him. Mm-hmm. I think it was a message. I was like, hey, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, I had another delivery first. I was like, well, you were out front of my building and you stopped. Why didn't you come in?
Yeah. Interesting.
And all that did was enrage me.
Yeah, that's what I don't.
It made my blood pressure go up.
and this is probably, I want to say it's me being an old person saying, listen, I'm not sharing my location with anyone and no one needs to share their location with me, except we're getting a lot of texts and these are older people, older than I am as well. And you said, your age are sharing locations. Like I said, when I was hiking the Alps, absolutely, I share my location and then I turn it off. When I was in Colorado recently, shared my location with a friend in Colorado, with my sister-in-law, said, hey, here's my location. So if I fall off a mountain, at least you kind of have an idea where I was last. Yeah. And then you turn it off. But I mean, we have a 636 says, I live in St. Louis and my son is a professional musician who travels and my daughter lives in Oklahoma. They are in their 20s. I am 55 and we share our location nonstop. My kids were the ones that actually started it because they wanted to know where I was when I was traveling.
Yeah.
Another says, my 14-year-old son and all of his buddies all share their locations and they all know exactly where they're all at all times. This gives me so much anxiety. And again, you think, well, what are you doing, Amy? I'm not doing anything. I go to Home Goods. I go to Deerbergs, and I run. But if I knew that you guys and all my friends had my location, I would just feel like an invasion of privacy. Leave me alone. That's how I feel.
Want that either.
Leave me alone.
This message says, I'm 23. My whole family, including grandparents and some friends, have my location, and I have theirs.
That's wild.
See, I know that's not unusual. I know families that do that, and I love this message.
I think we're in the minority.
This texter here says, a coworker and I would go to the same bar a few nights a week for happy hour after work. One day, my phone just popped up with a notification 15 minutes before my shift ended and said that I was 12 minutes away from said bar if I left now. With map directions. That moment, I turned off my location permanently. If you're going to the bar so often that it notifies you hey, if you leave for the bar now, 12 minutes.
Hey, buddy.
Dude, get out of my life.
Yeah.
That's an invasion of privacy.
A 314. 3 of my 5 kids share their location with me, mostly for safety's sake when they're traveling and when I'm traveling. That was probably at my suggestion that I think when they're on a road trip in remote areas, it's a good thing for somebody to know where they are, and the same for me. And that I understand. Like I said, I travel solo.
Yes.
And so I think if you're traveling solo and you're driving across the country, which I've done solo, it probably is a good thing to have someone track your phone.
So the 23-year-old followed up and says, my grandpa absolutely loves having all of his grandkids' locations and checks where each of us are probably 5 times a day. First thing he does when he wakes up, if he wakes up in the middle of the night, he makes sure we're home.
That's so sweet.
It is so sweet,
but also
I don't need Grandpa knowing where the hell I am in the middle of the night or anytime.
Raji doesn't sleep at home very often.
The hell no. Hey, easy, buddy. You put my business out there.
Yeah.
I'm at Grandpa's house. He doesn't even know it.
That would be so freaky.
He checks his location.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, he's here.
He's in the house.
I'm just kidding. All my grandparents are dead. It's the Chris and Amy show.
Okay.
The Gas House Gang is at 12. You're listening to KMOX.
Broadcasting from the Scott Credit Union Studio, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-720-8444. 314-720-8444. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-720-8444.
Give the gift of a magical experience at St. Louis Union Station when you take a real train ride journey to the North Pole aboard the Polar Express. Meet Santa and experience the magic of the Polar Express story with hot chocolate, treats, music, and sing-alongs. For those that truly believe in the spirit of Christmas, head down to St. Louis Station this year. Book your golden ticket before they sell out at stlpolarexpressride.com.
Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you wash that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, nope, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Love your low mortgage rate but need extra cash? Don't refinance. Get a Scott Credit Union home equity line of credit for home renovations or debt consolidation. Learn more at scu.org. Rates vary. Terms and conditions apply.
You've pictured it, the garage door that finally makes your home look the way you want it to. And now get $500 back on a qualifying garage door with the Overhead Door Home Refresh Rebate. Qualifying purchase must be made by September 13th. Let Overhead Door Company of St. Louis upgrade your curb appeal and get you up to $500 back. Schedule a free estimate at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. Select models. Rebate paid as a Visa prepaid gift card. Restrictions apply. See website for full terms.
This summer, local events are happening all over the place, and i3 Broadband is a big part of it. At i3, we love being part of the neighborhood and are proud to support the events that make our communities great. We're also proud to deliver 100% fiber-to-home internet, recognized as Greater St. Louis's next-door neighborhood fave. We give you lightning-fast speeds and reliable performance. Head over to i3broadband.com/radio today or call 866-806-5485 to upgrade because life runs better on fiber, and i3 Broadband is here for you.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Chris Ronchi, Amy Marks Kors. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
You know, speaking of surveillance, remember earlier we were having the conversation about having cameras in your house? Because we were talking about flock cameras and how it's kind of invasive. And you know, we brought up the idea that people have home security systems and cameras outside, Ring cameras, that's pretty common and it has been. But now, in the last several years, it's grown more popular to have cameras inside the house, just fixed on like the living room and kitchen or the bedrooms or whatever, which I think is really strange. And we had a texter on that who said, why do people want cameras inside? Well, to check up on kids if you're out, you know, how your dog is doing, etc. And I responded with, if your kids are old enough to be home alone, why do they need a camera on them? Do they have to have a camera on them at all times?
I don't like the hyper surveillance society, and I guess you could count that kind of like in some ways a helicopter parent, or just even if you're not a parent, we have been fine for decades and decades and decades without cameras in the family room and in the kitchen to check up on kids. I think for me there is something that is unhealthy about constantly surveilling those around you or knowing you're constantly being surveilled and tracked. Like I said, I get location sharing in a lot of circumstances. And just because I personally don't do it, I'm not judging location sharing. I'm sure if I had kids or, this may seem misogynistic, but even like a daughter in college or something and like, you know what, I just want to make sure I know where she is. Or a son. I feel okay with that. But the videos in the house, something feels very unhealthy about constant surveillance.
Just 24 hours having it available to you? I don't know that it's good for us to have that. I guess if something really terrible happened, then it would be nice to have that evidence or whatever. But if that's how you're going to live your life, hey, just in case something brutal happens to me, I have this video evidence. We can't live like that. That's crazy.
I still go back to the saying that we are under protecting kids online and over protecting them in the real world.
Cardinals are back above 500, and we are going to talk about that and more, all Cardinals stuff, and a little bit more than that. We've got some other things to get into with Bernie Miklasz on the Gas House Gang coming up. We'll talk Cardinals minor leagues as well. Rated second best in baseball by Baseball America. J.J. Cooper joins the show at 12:30. Anything you missed on this show available on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast. Back tomorrow at 9 with Hancock and Kelly.
Do you want to eat steak naked?
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Dollar General.
Being the executor